Oh, really?
And now, live from the Man Cave Studios, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Sunday night conversation with Michigan's 33rd District Senatorial candidate, Mr. Tom Norton. Yours truly, Larry Parsons. This is My Brain. And now your host, the man that put this show together just to tick off all the Democrats, Mr. Jeremy Scott Gibbs. No animals were hurt during the production of this show except for maybe the chicken we ate for dinner.
Totally the chicken.
You're a gay fish.
You guys saw the gay fish, you're good to go, right? Everybody's happy out there? All right, chime in. Don't be quiet. Yeah, there's the gay fish.
Wasn't it, didn't they say they were turning the frogs gay?
They're turning the frickin' frogs gay. That's why we do the gay fish. Yeah. You didn't hear it, but we have the soundbite for that
Oh, do you?
from South Park.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
You like fish sticks in your mouth?
You're a gay fish.
You're a gay fish. Welcome, Tom. We've had see Gypsy Magic. Hi, gay fish.
You know, in the military, they say it's only gay if you make it gay if balls touch. So, or if you like it.
And that's how we start the show out, people. Welcome, Tom.
I promise a couple laughs.
100%.
You are overcome by veterans at this on this
I
show.
know this. I do know this.
That can be taken about 4 different ways when you say words like that.
Yeah, dude, don't. Larry, can you not be so on the nose there, buddy? Hold on, I gotta. I thought I had everything. You know, it isn't a show if I don't have 1 or 2 things that are not working correctly. There we go. Thank you, computer. I always feel like Scotty. You're a Trek fan. Remember Star Trek 4?
Yes.
When he picks up
Hello,
he's like,
computer.
hello, computer. He's like, just use the mouse. He's like,
How quaint.
how quaint. And then he goes, he's like, transparent aluminum? Yes. Or should I hit delete? No. I love that one. Search for Spock and Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and Voyage Home are
Yes.
awesome. And then the last one, Undiscovered Country.
Yes.
The middle one and the one between
Star
that.
Trek 5 and 1, you think
The
about
Voyage
suicide.
Home, out of all the original series movies,
The Voyage Home
The
is your
Voyage
favorite?
Home is my favorite.
It's because
yeah.
you like whales, Larry.
The hell you didn't.
Well, whale found.
Whaling is for the United States Marine Corps and the Navy.
All right, with that, let's get this out of the way so we don't mess anything else up.
I am sitting next to an infantryman.
I'm gonna get that. Yeah. Notice this podcast is raw, unfiltered, and completely politically incorrect. And tonight you're gonna see how much those 3 phrases are gonna play into it. We say Merry Christmas and the Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God. We thank our troops for their service. Thank both of you gentlemen on the opposite side of the table from me tonight for your service in our military. As adults, I missed one. We recognize 3 genders, male, female, and mentally ill. As adults, we enjoy adult beverages. Larry does not have an adult beverage, and Tom is pacing himself, so I'm the only one. Wait, I'll do my overhead. We cuss. We do not curse or swear. And I think there's going to be a competition on who gets the most F-bombs tonight. We'll see how that plays out. But look up the definitions of those 3 words. We love Jesus, but we hate religion or religious hypocrites. If any of this offends you, please leave. And we're back to the table. I got to click. Oh, we wanted to do the other thing, didn't we?
What's
Did we
the
want
other
to do
thing?
that one?
What's that, buddy?
John Wayne.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Or did you want to do your? We don't normally do your thing on Sunday.
Not on Sundays. No.
Not on Sundays.
But
All right,
we
let's
can do this.
All right,
one.
let's do this together, gentlemen.
Never
apologize
and never explain. It's a sign of weakness.
And I think that people out here would do well, if you're watching, to understand that apologies do nothing with these monsters.
You didn't get to see that or hear that, Tom, but we play Steven Crowder talking about
That's fine.
never apologize. Anyway.
I'm not worried about what's said on there.
Yeah. So any disclaimers that you have to present to the audience out there?
If you use any of my uniform videos, it's DOD exempt.
Nice. All right. So where do you want to start, Tom? We had a good conversation during dinner. You filled us in on a lot of stuff. I know some of the things that we shared down there during dinner were us getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And it was good stuff. How do you want to share some of that as an overview for the audience out there, just to get to know you, starting out with your family life? Because there's a couple things. Obviously, you're running for Senate.
Yeah.
And so they're going to try to dig into your past, but you've shown in past races where you just came right out and said, hey, this is where I've made mistakes, and you totally wiped out any opportunity for them to zing you or try to pull one out on you. So you quite literally just, is it finalized?
Oh yeah.
The divorce is finalized.
Yeah.
And so that's the DUI from 2018 and the divorce now. Those are things that people look at as far as right or wrong. They look at those things.
Well,
so I kind of want to get those right out of the way.
They do. So 62% of this district has had a divorce. The other thing is my ex-wife is knocking doors for me and endorsed me. So, I mean, if she hated me and it was bad, it'd do there. There were some other issues in there. And
Right.
You don't need to pass blame. You got kids involved in it. But her and I are phenomenal friends. It's very, very rare when you see people that can be friends when they're separated.
Yep.
That's probably one of the most rare things that you've seen. And
Larry knows my first wife very well, and my first wife and my current wife will
Comes
sit
to
right.
all the parties here.
They will
She
sit
comes
there
and
at the booth.
watches the show.
They'll sit in the booth, the control booth, and chat.
And just like I told you before the show, you know, when I sit there and I sat down with my ex-father-in-law who passed away last weekend.
Yeah, and condolences to you. I said that off air, but I'm saying it.
So I will have a drink on the show on there, mainly because that's who I drank with on Sunday nights. But he, went in last Sunday, found the body. But when I told him that, listen, I got to divorce your daughter, the first thing out of his mouth was, but I don't want to lose you. So, I mean, if I was a horrible guy, I'm pretty sure the father
wouldn't
have said that.
Exactly.
And then, I took care of him through cancer. I promised him I would, and he ended up dying in his own house like he wanted to. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the divorce is only a thing when you're out there. I mean, and you think about it. I mean, Gina Johnson has a divorce. That's probably my primary candidate on there as well.
Right,
So
right.
if she's going to attack me, she needs to look in a mirror, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a difficult thing. But the problem is in Lansing, a lot of these people are hypocrites.
Right.
Think of how many of these people. I can tell you this from experience. I've been involved a long time. I'm going to skip ahead on this stuff a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Whatever you want to do, let's do it.
I've helped nominate attorney generals, secretaries of state. I was trained by Norm Hughes on convention floors. Been involved a long time. I've been
Okay.
a village president. I actually have turned the village around out of bankruptcy. A lot of different things. And what's interesting is I can tell you right now from legislatures that have endorsed two of my opponents. That a couple of them are having affairs with each other in Lansing. So, I mean,
As we speak?
Great. So that's phenomenal that you're going to be lying hypocrites. And I think Americans are tired of that crap.
They are.
They're sick of it.
Right.
So the reason I always have no problem discussing any things that I've done wrong is because I'm sick of liars.
Right.
I am tired of it.
We don't have a problem with people who have life issues, who make mistakes, we have problems with people that cover shit up.
Thomas Jefferson was banging his slave for 20 years. I mean, and he had children with him. I mean, but
Nixon-
most of us would agree that he was a
Yeah.
great president.
Well, Nixon, he never ordered the break-in.
No.
He covered it up.
Yeah.
If he would have hung those guys out to dry, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
But his crime was covering up.
Oh, yeah.
And then trying to pay people off. Then you're out of office. So transparency is always. I mean, I think that's where Trump's made one of the big mistakes in recent months of trying to brush away Epstein when he ran on. Let's get it all out there. So these dynamics that you're talking about, let's get it on the forefront and deal with it.
There's one thing we can all agree on, though. Epstein did not kill himself.
Well, what is
That's a bipartisan issue. Right there's bipartisan.
What is Kennedy? What's Representative Kennedy? I muted you, Larry, because you were snoring into your microphone.
Out of all the things I believe in, there's
yeah.
conspiracy theories everywhere. I do believe in Clinton's side. Out of
Oh,
all the things,
100%.
I believe in Clinton's side.
What was I'm trying to think of the phrase that Kennedy said. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves. Christmas lights, drywall, and Jeffrey Epstein. Those are the 3 things that don't hang themselves.
And that's true. And, and then we'll even get on to the other issue. I brought it up. I used to do suicide prevention. I did roughly 137 cases. And then back around 2019-20, about the time I was done doing it, that was just after my DUI.
Okay.
The government got involved where nonprofits couldn't do suicide prevention anymore. And the government's over-regulating everything to death. Now, nobody committed suicide that went through that program.
Right.
But, I got a phone call, and I was working in Indiana. And, I mean, so the funny thing is, had I not released my own DUI, nobody would have found it. Because it was in
Wow.
Indiana.
Okay.
So these people who sit there is like, oh, he has a DUI. I'm the one who released my own DUI when I
Right.
started running for Congress.
Right.
Because Michigan's a non-reciprocal state.
Yeah.
When you pull my driver's license, you couldn't find it. I've had them literally say, we can remove this time. I was like, well, there's no point of removing. I already admitted it.
Exactly.
It's admitted. You did that stuff. But anyway, so I got a call. This guy was thinking about shooting himself and or committing suicide. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, listen, I called my boss at the time. I said, hey, can I stay in South Bend at night? I got a guy with an issue. And he knew I did it.
Right.
And so I stayed there that night. And I went to Applebee's in South Bend. Did not realize there was a Notre Dame game. I had no clue. Good luck finding a hotel room in a Notre Dame game. Now, in the back of my head, I had a plan. I was like, there's 4 hotels within walking distance.
Yeah, we're good to go.
You're not getting one.
You're not getting
You're not getting one during a Notre Dame game.
Right, right.
So I drank with the guy, and I was like, well, Plymouth isn't that far. I should be okay. And I ended up falling asleep behind the wheel, and that's how I got my DUI. If I had to do the whole thing over again, I would have slept in the bed of the truck.
Right.
But that guy's still alive. I'm not going to share the name. People have been asking for years. But if you've done suicide prevention, you're asking for somebody's name, you can go shove it up your ass.
Exactly.
Excuse my fucking language.
No.
I figure I won that one.
You earned that one.
I earned that one right there. So,
no.
I mean, there's nothing hidden. I'm an open book.
Yeah.
And when I'm knocking doors in my district,
They appreciate that.
they all know it.
Exactly.
And that's why they know it.
And a lot of people can go, well, as you said, what did you say, 68%? What did you say the percentage was?
62% have
62%.
been divorced in that district.
Yeah, so I mean, they're relating. They're like, yeah, it's not something you go out and choose.
Yeah.
You don't do a whole wedding and have a family and then go, yeah, well, one day I'll get divorced. You don't put that
No,
in
you
your
don't do
plan.
that.
You know, so when it happens, it's not something that you endeavored to achieve in life. You know,
But yeah.
how to make sure I got my divorce check that box off. Yeah, I got one of those. You know, it's people don't do that. And the same with the suicide prevention. I love that. When I was a youth pastor years ago, I had a number of kids. You know, I get the call at 2 a.m. I think you said it. You're like, don't call me after this. I had a rule of don't call me after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Unless it's a real issue, and then I'm up. And I've talked a couple kids talked one kid's particular off a bridge, at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like, and we had a couple kids that had taken their lives that weren't part of my youth group, but were in the school. Yeah. And, but it's real. And the numbers that they put out, I think what they say, 22 or something like, it's upwards of 70s a day, actual veterans. I had a whole veteran group in here for quite a while, and then the politics blew that up. But
Your suicide prevention as a veteran, what happens is what drives a lot of them to either drinking or committing suicide, especially back in that period of time, was you're reliving a lot of your own scars. So you have to go back and actually address them. Mm-hmm. There's some spiritual healing that has to occur, period.
100%. Yeah.
So, I mean, what I'm tired of is all these people say, I'm perfect, I'm perfect, I'm perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
I take a great example in my district down here. Kevin Green, he's endorsed me. He was former majority whip. I told you the story beforehand.
Yep.
He did the right thing. He drank at a party. He had a couple too many. He drove 2 blocks. He's like, I've drank too much.
Yep.
Pulled over, shut his car off. Wasn't driving.
Not driving, not running.
Nope, but by gosh, they prosecute him like he was driving down the road.
Yep.
There is some things that we have to reform in this state where people, if they're doing the right thing, we need to encourage the right and proper
100%.
thing instead of punishing them.
Those cops should have asked him, would you like us to call you a cab, something like that?
Exactly.
Can we lock your keys in your car? You got a way to get back into it?
We could simply sit there and adjust our laws to say, hey, this guy identified a problem
Right.
and addressed it. Now, they attacked him on his DUI when he ran in my district.
Right.
And we ended up getting him elected as the township supervisor when they attacked him on it. But I sit there and he's like, well, how did I do this? I was like, just tell people.
Just tell him right up front.
He took out an incumbent Republican in a Republican primary
Yeah.
by simply telling the truth.
And that's what people want. We're so sick of the bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I'm not a mushroom. I don't want to be kept in the dark and fed a bunch of shit. I want to know what's going on. Be upfront with me.
Yeah.
We had Larry, Secretary of State, Amanda Love
Yeah.
on here, right? We discussed her situation with her and her husband, and she had an affair, had another kid, and how they reconciled that, right? It's up front. It's right up front, We had another guest on here, was married, 62 years or something like that? Or Larry, you remember how many years he was married? I don't want to say his name, but he was a former sheriff or something like that. Married 62 years, his wife dies. He's in a restaurant. Has a few too many drinks, and this was just a few months ago,
Oh, yeah.
and he leaves and gets a DUI, And so he's overly conscious of that, but he's like, I'm not
I know who
like
you're
a
talking
drinker.
about. Actually, somebody who's endorsed me for this race as well.
Yeah, no,
But
phenomenal guy.
Great guy.
And he gets this thing, and it's like, dude, this is a grieving widower
yeah.
who tipped back a few drinks and was a sheriff and a rep and a senator. It's like, dude, He should have been, can we get you a ride home and you can pick up your car tomorrow? That should be the plan.
Well, there's ways that you can sit there and address stuff where they look at it. And what it needs to be is, did they pull over? Did they do the right thing? Mm-hmm. Right? We have to be able to do that. Now, if somebody's still driving down the road and they pull them over, that's fine. That's completely different.
Now you work that out. Well,
it's completely different.
And I'm kind of, this is not the greatest popular opinion, but I'm kind of the guy it's like, and this is not your opinion, I'm not foisting this on you, but I'm the kind of guy, unless you do harm, then what are we doing? But that's the same thing with speeding tickets, the same thing with rolling stop signs.
I have a different opinion on that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
If you're still driving the road and still doing it
100%.
Now, here's the funny part. If we had laws like that nationwide, I probably would have just slept in the truck anyway. But the problem is, like, if you're in a parking lot in almost any state in the union,
yeah,
and you walk out to your truck and you've drank and you sleep in the passenger seat, they can still give you a DUI.
Which is
that's
bullshit.
Absolutely insane.
Exactly.
But now getting down the road and driving that, if we reform the laws, there's people that are probably going to sit there and be like, listen, I'm going to sleep in my truck, or I'm going to do this.
100%.
And we'd have less people dying from it.
Yes.
And
in the wintertime, somebody comes out, they're too drunk to drive. They got a 4-door F-150 or something. So they start the car, they put on
that's a DUI right there.
Right. It is. And
that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah,
when you're doing the responsible thing and not driving, but the bar's closed and you're not safe to drive home.
You sleep 4 or 5 hours, you're probably going to be fine in that truck. And if you can leave it running, keep yourself warm.
Right.
That's because the other part, if you fall asleep and you're drunk in there, you can kill yourself from hypothermia. So that's where these things that we have to start looking at balances on different items.
Yeah, because that's a lack of common sense the way that's written out. Same thing with arbitrary thing of 0.08. It's like, are you intoxicated, or are you just hitting this particular number? You know, I've seen people that are stone sober that can't fucking drive. I'm like, dude, how do you have a license to be out here and do that? It's like, dude, or texting and doing all sorts of shit, or the chicks doing makeup. Or you remember seeing people reading books? You ever seen people reading? You drive by them on the freeway and they've got a book on their steering wheel. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude.
I've had people drive by me with a small TV on the dashboard. And
they're
watching porn as they're going down the road.
Well, I mean, that happens, Larry. You understand that.
Yeah.
Well, texting and driving too. I mean, there's a lot of things on there that we've gone overboard on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of the reasons. Like for somebody like me, I drive with what I do for work. I use a trucker headset. I spend a lot of time pulling over when I'm knocking doors and stuff like that in order to do my job and maintain stuff. But I mean, you saw it when I came in. Mm-hmm. If I'm on the phone, there's things you can use and tools you can use.
100%. I have to do 2 buttons. You know, when a text message come in, I have to hit the text message itself so it opens up, and I have to hit the little microphone, and then I can text right back to them, and then the last button I got to hit is send. Mm-hmm. Now that's 3 little keystrokes, but that's what I do. Or I wait till I hit a stop sign, or I do every once in a while pull over if it's somebody texting me and needs an answer right away.
Yeah.
Not Larry. I don't do that for Larry, but
but while I'm driving, I've got that trucker.
I know.
That blue
You
Parrot.
walked in with it the other day.
Yeah, I
and
did.
I was like,
I did. I walked in with, because I forget it's on. I wear it all day long, right? And all I do is I push a button up here. I say, text Jeremy.
right.
And then it'll say, okay, what do you want to text to Jeremy? And I'll text you. I'll say, hey, man, Tom Norton's going to be on the show on Sunday. And it'll say, send text, hey, whatever I just said to Jeremy.
That's a good example
And I
text
say
of what
yes.
Larry does send me. It's not always what he sends me.
No.
That's the modern technology part that needs to occur. But we got a lot of laws that need to be changed. So
We do. And they need to come back to common sense. And again, my thing is, constitutionally, it's like you look at it from a dynamic of until you do something, then it's not a crime. And we've moved so many things over into being criminal. Easy, Larry. I got you, buddy. Wrong pipe.
Yes, thank you.
Dude, that's pretty strong stuff over there. You better cut back on that. Is that Dr. Pepper? Or what is
That's
that?
Diet Dr. Pepper.
That's
yeah.
why it's
Yeah,
diet. Diet. I mean, the
Dr.
word's
Pepper.
die.
Dr.
Diet
Pepper.
in there, yeah.
Tried to kill me.
It tried to kill you, bro. But I think constitutionally, I lean that way of until you do something, then You may be a shitty person, you may be making all the wrong mistakes and that sucks because then you got to wait. But I've seen the same thing where somebody does do something. I told you about the youth group kid that I had that died. She was T-boned a month before her wedding, killed. The chick got out. She blew 4 times over her legal limit, had her 2 kids in the back of the car when she did it. She got 4 years for vehicular manslaughter, and her family's had to go every year, or minimum of 4 years, and then she was up for parole. And they've had to go to all these parole hearings for years to testify against her because they gave her, it's like, dude, you took somebody's life and you had 2 of your own kids in the back of the vehicle.
Yeah.
There needs to be consequences for that, you know? Yeah. And then somebody else does something, a white collar crime, and they're sent up for 20, 30 years.
Right.
And here's somebody that took a life, totally blown out and gone. Mm-hmm. And you give them 4 years before you can file for parole, and they got to keep going. The family's got to live through that trauma of going in there and doing that. So I'm on both sides of it. It's like, dude,
well,
you mess somebody up.
Things that are falling.
Yeah, you mess somebody up because you're drunk. Full fucking consequences on you.
Yeah.
You're sleeping in your vehicle because you know you're not safe to drive. Cops should knock on the door and say, "You all right, buddy?" Yeah, I'm just sleeping it off. Okay. We're doing our route. We'll swing back by and make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Do you want us to call somebody to come back to your car? No.
At that point, you have the plate.
Yeah.
You know if the guy's driving away. You know what he's doing.
Right.
And back in the day, we used to have community police officers, and it worked extremely well that way.
Yeah.
And we had other ones that weren't. So there's a balance that has to occur where
100%.
the cops have to have a certain level of discretion.
Yeah.
And the other thing is what's going to happen in that is you're going to have a natural thing where people respect police officers a little bit more as well. That's where this breakdown has come. But the thing is you got Democrats and Republicans, both parties sitting there and trying to create these divisions as much as possible for votes.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, what the hell have they done? They haven't done jack shit for anybody.
Right.
They sit there and they look at stuff and they're like, I'm going to pass a bill, I'm going to pass a bill. That's why Michigan needs a part-time legislature, like now, like right now. And
explain that. Part-time legislature.
Part-time legislature. Texas has part-time legislature. There's another 30-some-odd states that have a part-time legislature. And what that is, they don't go to Lansing full-time. They go to Lansing a couple days, either on a weekend or during the week. Every so often, they pass the bills that are necessary that need to be taken care of, like budget, things of that nature.
Right.
Because right now in Lansing, how many bullcrap bills do they sit there, and since it's, an adult show, and I can swear a little bit.
Yeah, we cuss on here. Yeah, go ahead.
Look how many shows, or not shows, but bills that they have that they just randomly pass to feel good.
Yep.
Why? We don't need how many millions of dollars in taxpayer money are they spending?
It was supposed to be exactly what you're saying. It was supposed to be a representation where you went back to your constituency constantly, and you also weren't so wrapped up in what you were doing as a representative that you couldn't tend to what you needed to do at home. You had to compartmentalize it, but you could still have your farms, you could still have your businesses, you could still do your other things. Now they act like it's this full-time, and I'm like, it was never supposed to be full-time, and we weren't supposed to be passing multitudes, hundreds of thousands of pages of legislation every year. It was supposed to be the minimal stuff.
We need one vote, one bill legislation.
100%.
The bill's in front of you.
Yeah,
no more
omnibus.
bull crap too. They do it in Michigan, they do it in Washington, they do it everywhere.
Yep.
And the funny thing is at the local level, okay, and when I was village president, every bill that we passed was one by one. When I did my budgets, I passed it section by section. Drove the old council members nuts. But it led to balanced budgets 3 years in a row because I did that. And the first year I came in, they sat there and they had to borrow money for the balance out, but we were only borrowing like $5,000 out of it. And then the next 3 years, we put almost $122,000 into the general savings. But it was line by line budget. Then we did secondary bonuses for people inside the village that you spent money under here. You got 1%, 2%, 3%. I think we did actually like 3.5%.
Which is totally different than you got to spend all of the money allocated or your budget's cut for the next year.
I am going to reward you for doing the right thing for taxpayers.
Correct.
We have too many people paying too much money on their taxes and everything else.
Yeah.
If you look at the legislatures were always endorsed other legislatures. Why? Because you're part of us and you're going to agree with what we want to do.
Yeah.
My intent is to be like Newt Gingrich. and just be a complete and utter pain in the ass. I plan on keeping my job
Yep.
when I'm there. They're only in session Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's already part-time, and we're overpaying them to do that.
Right.
We need to reform it to real part-time, cut it in half, get rid of the retirement
Yes.
benefits, keep your job back home,
Yep.
and drive back to the district.
Yes.
That's what you need to do.
100%.
Now, and the ones up in the UP, we do a little bit more of a travel thing because that's a heck of a distance for those poor guys.
It's 8.5 hours to go to where I fish up in the UP.
But we're talking about 10 representatives having an additional allotment for driving the furthest. We can cut millions of dollars out for the rest of representatives.
Yeah.
And we just put an hour and a half drive on it. If you're within an hour and a half, here's your pay. If you're more than that, that's your pay.
Right.
Now, we may have a bunch of those guys that want to rip us off driving a little bit further to live, but I mean,
Got to be within your district.
you can get a couple crooks. Well, unless you're Gina Johnson.
Oh, I don't want to sound like the correspondent in there, but shots fired.
Yeah. Gina Johnson, doesn't she vote with Democrats quite a bit?
Only if it's for sex changes and for government money that never comes to your district.
Oh. Yeah, it just seems I remember Gina Johnson
Oh, I mean, if you drive by her
voting
house,
with Democrats a
you
lot.
drive by her house in East Lansing.
Yeah.
Her mail still goes to East Lansing.
Yeah.
Okay, but she allegedly lives in Portland. She's never lived in the district she represents. It's a felony. But they're all going to endorse him because, well, they want to keep that type of person on the ballot because they can buy your vote and they control you. And that's what they're
Wow.
going to do. And you're not going to have the Democrats hop in and do anything about it. But
No.
But, you know.
There's
that's,
a reason why we have the majority not wanting to vote for voter reform.
No, yeah.
Because they both sides benefit on
When I was-
Democrats more than
when I was-
Republicans, but they both benefit.
So, Ionia County, where
Yeah.
I'm running at, and this is going to be unpopular because they say, oh, you're running for state senate, you can say this. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Why is it every single county commissioner there right now has a primary challenge
Ooh,
on the Republican side?
on the Republican side, because they're not doing what the constituency
There
wants.
is actual corruption in there. There's a lawsuit right now
Yeah.
with one of my opponents named in it,
Okay.
same one I mentioned, but that they're trying to cover up from government overreach and actual trying to use your position as a position of power. And I'm not kidding. I can send
Wow.
you these articles. I'll send these articles to Larry on there. There's
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah.
of them. And they sit there and they don't want to do anything about it because at the end of the day, they've turned this into a business. But they're all in primary challenges. I'm knocking doors through there. The general voter in this county knows what's going on. They're not happy
Right.
in this primary area. And they sit there and they think they don't realize they don't realize how ticked off they are.
Yeah.
Right now, when I'm knocking doors, what's interesting, the first thing out of their mouth is, "Are you currently in the state house?" And I say no, and they said, "I'll vote for you." This is I'm only hitting primary voters.
Right.
If you're elected right now, they are infuriated.
Oh, dude, we're pissed off.
The gas price and everything else.
incumbency-
So these people running around saying, "I got these endorsements." Hey, buddy, go ahead and mail that and keep doing that for me because it'd be beautiful if you keep doing it. But that's the interesting thing when you're going through it is they're tired of it. People are
Yeah.
sick. We got gas that's $5 a gallon, and everybody's like, "It's Donald Trump and Iran." Okay, why was it for the last 30 plus years we weren't manufacturing oil here? We have capped oil wells in Michigan.
Yep.
Michigan can move itself into number 10 in oil production in the United States.
Yeah.
We can move ourselves to number 1 in natural gas production in the United States.
100%.
The state of Michigan.
But we got Democrats trying to shut down
Yeah,
Line 5.
We're number 1. Michigan
Yeah.
is number 1 globally in natural gas storage.
Yeah.
We can produce the cheapest electric for people
Right.
by simple regulatory reform.
Right.
The other thing we can do, and I think you had the video on my Facebook ready to go on there, I was talking about this.
Yeah.
We can also do biomass for trees and
Why?
restore the entire logging industry to produce electricity on a renewable energy source.
Yep.
And why haven't they done it?
Not only that, there's huge biomass. I remember there was a book. I want to go into the book, but there was a whole book, and it was like our waste treatments. If you took all the waste, the solid waste, and you get down and you dry it out, you can use that as a biomass fuel.
Yeah.
So we literally could be burning our shit, and we're not doing it because I'm like, that would seem to be a Green Deal thing for me, you know?
Here's a funny thing. One of the poorest counties in the state of Michigan is not in the UP. It's in the 33rd Senate District,
Okay.
Baldwin, Michigan. Lake County is one of the poorest counties in the entire state.
Okay.
It's poorer than most of them in Detroit. Baldwin is massive amount of woods lumber, logging. They have entire industrial parks in that town that are empty. If we did biomass electricity there, and they're a distribution hub in that area, they could create thousands of jobs supporting an electrical power plant right there off biomass.
Yeah.
And actually take counties like that and bring them up. Counties across the UP, bring them up.
Yeah.
We have energy solutions for this grid. Now, everybody's also against these data centers. Well, if we're going to fight China, we need data centers. Do I need them in rural areas? No. Drive into Detroit, drive into Benton Harbor, drive into these towns where the factories are gone.
Yep.
If we're going to do tax credits on data centers, shove them in the cities, but produce the electricity necessary so the electrical bills are going up.
100%.
The only reason people are opposed to data centers right now
Is where
the
you're fucking putting them.
bills.
Electrical bills and didn't they just ask for another $500 million?
You know, there's 40 acres in Greenville you can't build anything in. That's where Electrical Lux was. 40 acres, industrial field in Greenville, right next up to the river.
Can't do anything with it.
Can't do anything with it because it's
Residential.
contaminated.
Okay.
Can't make it residential.
Put a data center.
40 acres, right in town, it's fenced off.
Do data centers have a problem with PFAS? You know,
No.
put it in a contaminated area and use the water because the water's not.
I'm
you're not
pretty sure
drinking anyways.
I'm pretty sure computers don't care
Whether
about
it's PFAS? Yeah.
I'm 98% certain
Exactly.
they don't care.
Well,
but these are areas we can't use.
Exactly. Well, and I've touted there are areas along our coastal line that are not usable, but come in 5-10 miles off of the coast. Okay, use lake water because all you're doing is cooling them.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything other than cooling the computers down. So pull water in from the lake, and then make sure it's filtered and kick it back out.
Well, the kicker part of it is where that Electrolux plant was in Greenville, that 40 acres.
Yeah.
The Flat River is right next to it.
Okay.
It's right next to it. We don't have to worry about water or anything like that nature. And then change our building codes. Change our building codes so that these big giant buildings can put solar panels on top of their roofs.
Oh, I'm all about that.
We got now you got a 40-acre data center.
Yep.
Where the entire roof is solar panels on top of
Yep.
it. They have the water, they have the electricity they need. Now they're not raising the bills, and we can fight China and have the data that we
100%.
need for our stuff without developing it. But instead, we have people running around saying no, 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 no. Okay, I can say no all day long. How do I get to benefit our society to make it work for everybody?
And I've been saying, Larry knows, I've been saying that. I don't want a data center in my backyard, and I don't want to take over a farm field. Put it on the fucking coast, put it in an industrial area, do something like that. That's smart, you know, and the same thing with the solar panels. How many commercial buildings around here?
Yeah.
But we're going to take up 40 acres of a field and put a bunch of solar panels, put them on top of Myers and Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's and have them feed right in.
I have 2 state representatives running. Why the hell haven't they? I could bet you after this show they might finally propose it, but they're not smart enough to propose that type of stuff. They're low IQ people at the end of the day because if they were smart, they would have done this at some time in the last 4 years. Yeah. And that's where their problem is.
Well, they probably, I mean, both sides are getting paid by DTE, so I don't know what the plan
DTE
is.
is not going to be opposed to changing building codes.
You and I know that,
Consumers Energy is not going to be opposed to building codes.
Yeah. Yeah. And the building codes are fucking stupid. As a builder, I fully understand how
they're not going to
dumb
sit
they
there
are.
and do that. We got Eagle. They sit there and they want to run and talk about Eagle. Now, this is my favorite one. We had a debate the other day, and I had all 3 of them talking about Eagle is an unregulated agency. Last I knew, their budget came through the legislature.
Therefore, you can do something.
Yeah, but they're like, it's unregulated. Are you really that dumb? You voted for their budget and you're going to go out there and bash them?
Right.
But they have some people. There's some people out there that fully believe that.
I'm pretty sure
oh,
we've
they're
heard that
saying this, so it's
the
okay.
power
No,
of the
it's not.
purse is the premium there. You got the power of the purse, you can control whatever.
Here's how you reform Eagle. Eagle drives up construction costs, farming costs, landscaping. Pick an industry. Eagle's destroying it. They don't have enough staff. You can't get a permit. It's a pain in the butt. You got townships trying to put staff in their front buildings in their township. You got Lansing with staff.
Yep.
Let's just simply eradicate all the staff the state's doing, all the staff these townships are doing.
Yep.
Hand it to the county building, and let the county issue their permits from the counties.
Right.
You're cutting costs right away and we're not talking about spending more money. We're talking about moving money around to make it efficient and cut it. And then get rid of stupid regulations. You can't replace a driveway if you're within 500 feet of a lake right now without an Eagle permit.
Right.
500 feet. But these legislatures are running around saying it's unregulated. It's like, you're the ones regulating it. Mm-hmm. And they say, we can't stand up to Governor Whitmer. Okay. Detroit gets all the money. The Republican House controls the budget. Mm-hmm. But in Lansing, they shut down the clock. Most people don't do this. When they do a budget, if they can't agree to a budget, they shut the clock off.
Okay.
They do. You can look this up. They actually do this. And then they'll pass a budget. What you do is shut that damn thing down if you're going to be a warrior for general voters and a warrior for people.
Okay.
You shut it down and you say, I will not allow a budget out of the House until every single Michigan resident is worth the same dollar amount. Detroit doesn't get any extra money. No other cities get any extra money. You
Right.
are worth the same dollar amount.
Yeah, we're not going to prop
I don't
this
care
up,
about
prop
your
up money.
color. I don't care about your religion. I don't care
Yep.
if you cut your junk off. I don't care what you do. You're going to be worth the same exact dollar amount.
Yeah.
And if Republicans stood up and said that, they wouldn't be having a problem this cycle because voters would be sitting there as like, these people give a shit.
Exactly. And up until this point, they don't. That's the problem. That's why it's easy to check and say this is a uniparty, because you see both sides just push. They might fight publicly, but behind the scenes, they're pushing the same agenda. It might be agenda light when the Republicans in, but it's still the same agenda. It's more control. It's more oppression. It's more taxes. It's a higher budget. Tell me one time that they've balanced the budget to be lower. It cracks me up when they go, oh, you don't want the new things. It's always this increase. Oh, it's a 4% increase this year, mandatory 4% or 6% or whatever it is. And they act like it's a cut if they don't get it. And you're like, this wasn't a cut. We're like trying to slow down your increase that you have built into it already. Nothing diminishes. The bureaucracy doesn't slow down.
No.
I think the hospitals right now, they're the number one growth in hospitals right now is administration. Mm-hmm. We can't get nurses. We can't get doctors. They're using medicine from the 1960s put on by Big Pharma. You know, we're pushing drugs that have so many side effects, it's ridiculous. But we're going to hire more administrators to make sure we're doing the paperwork properly. It's the same thing with Eagle. It's the same thing with the legislature. People are fucking tired of the bureaucracy. We're tired of the oversight. And it's like, give the power back to the people in their own local communities. That's number one. I mean, we know Whitmer's behind, and Democrats predominantly, but there's other people helping that are behind this removal of the solar panels and the wind and everything like that, taking that power away from the local communities and just, oh no, we're going to go ahead and put a solar panel. We don't care what your constituency voted for and what they're telling you. We're going to go ahead and put these in.
Let's look at the largest $6 billion mistake in the state of Michigan, passed by Republicans. Windmills. Mm-hmm. It wasn't Democrats that passed windmills. Windmills were passed under Governor Snyder.
Yeah.
Is when they were passed. Republican House, Republican Senate, windmills. Have you ever driven mid-Michigan, 46?
I got friends who live in the Thumb. It's a debacle, and everybody has signs in their yards that say, get rid of these damn things.
46 and 57, they don't turn.
No.
$6 billion, they don't turn.
And their line goes down to Detroit from the Thumb.
Well,
the transmission line. By the time it gets there, it's useless.
But the kicker part is, those same $6 billion put along the coastline, those windmills would have done something. But we spent $6 billion and shoved in the middle of the state. Only in the government.
Could they fuck that up that bad?
Dumb enough to realize there's no fricking, well, I can say it.
Yeah, you're
no
on a good
fucking wind in the middle of the state.
Right. Our West Coast alone.
I got flipped out on by all three of my opponents because in mid-Michigan, $44 million a year in recreation is in the 33rd Senate District.
Okay.
In Newaygo County alone, from Croton Dam and Hardy Dam.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever been out there. If you're in West Michigan, you know Croton and Hardy Dam.
Okay. I may have gone fishing with my uncle on one of those.
Yeah. So in West Michigan, it's a huge deal. From RVs, everything. It's not just Newaygo County. It's the auxiliary economy that happens from boats, RVs, things of that nature. So Consumers Energy is selling these dams for $1 to another electric company, and they're going to squeeze the last 30 years out of them. But it's a $44 million economy based around it. They're earthen dams. And I sat there, and the kicker part about them, the problem is they were built during the Great Depression. Those were stumps, tree limbs, any sand they could throw in it, and a little concrete thrown on top. There is rural development grant money that we can secure to rebuild those dams.
Yeah.
And it needs to be done. They would produce more electricity than probably $2 billion of these useless windmills.
Did you say 44 million?
$44 million a year in a local economy for these dams.
Yeah.
They only produce like, 40 megawatts, which isn't a ton. It's not, at the end of the day. Just being fully honest on it. With
Right.
new upgrades, we can push them to 50, 60. But it's still it's a $44 million a year in the local economy
Okay.
that we can build these dams to.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, and then all three opponents, this is how bright they are. Only the earthen parts need to be replaced.
Wow.
They're earthen dams. Okay, there's a little bit of brain cells attached to this. So, but my approach is different. I'm talking about getting grant money for federal tax dollars at the end of the day. Nobody likes that, but it's $44 million a year in the economy. Well, in 50 years, it's over $2 billion. All three dams are replaced. With modern engineering, these dams will last over 200 years with improper maintenance.
Yes.
Improper.
Right.
So with proper maintenance, 400 or 500 years. So what I want to do, get the grant money, rebuild these dams, hand the ownerships to the counties they're in
100%.
with brand new electrical grids on it.
Because the local people have a vested interest
Yeah.
in its prosperity and its success.
So my kids, great grandkids, everybody can do
Yep.
it because it's attached to state property and it's permanent jobs to the local economy.
100%.
Is it going to cost money? Yes, but everything is cheaper yesterday.
Yeah, and
Everything.
and they've shown that our infrastructure is horribly. I mean, our infrastructure is horrible right now.
Look at what happened in Midland and the tax value that
Yeah.
went down. That dam's still not there. My mind, if we,
I remember driving by with my grandma, Rainbow Lake.
Yeah.
There over Lansing area, because my grandparents and I still have aunts and uncles over there in Ionia and
Oh, yeah.
Westphalia and Fowler. But I was with my grandma one time, and we drove over to a little restaurant she liked to eat. We went and got lunch, and we drove away, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that was Rainbow Lake. Their dam went out, and they had signs out, below the docks that said, no RVs or ORVs in the riverbed or in the lake bed.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep the people from driving down there with their four-wheelers, because now there's just a little stream running through the middle of it, and it used to be lakefront property.
Yeah.
And there was no plan to rebuild it. There was nothing there. I don't know what the status is now.
Well, they've done it with multiple spots in there. So my thing is we need to get the money to permanently start fixing these dams. And if
Exactly.
we're going to bring it back on there, do they create a lot of electricity? No. But rebuilding them and handing that and just contributing small amounts of the electrical grid in these small areas and
Right.
then handing those ownerships to the townships
Right.
or the counties to sit there and maintain that,
Yeah.
that at least gives them revenue
After
order to contribute to the power grid.
after the initial cost of the build and then the yearly cost of maintenance, it's free energy. After those,
Yeah.
you
So-
don't have to burn anything. You don't have to.
With the grant
it's literally
money-
just let the water flow and make sure the
Exactly.
turbine's working.
And with the grant money, what you do with it is you say,
That's too intelligent.
what you do
My
with
bad.
what you do with it after you hand that ownership back to them, you say, listen, once the money you have enough for maintenance there and maintaining it for inflation, any extra money you can spend in the county.
Dude, that's a win-win.
Everybody wins. And what they can easily do is say, listen, if they like, wait, we don't want to do the operation, whatever electrical company owns these dams, be it consumers or the company buying it for $1, I don't give a shit who they are.
Yeah.
And you say, listen, we'll split profit 50-50. You do
Right.
the operations 50-50 profit. They're going to look at it like, we don't have to deal with the maintenance. It's profit. We're making money off operation.
Right.
And it's a win for everybody.
And it would, dude.
The Chinese are still building hydro dams.
Then they just so Three Gorges was the biggest one they had built, and they've got a new one now.
Yeah.
That's even bigger than that.
Yeah.
And they're, dude.
The-
but they also build coal plants once a week.
Our
so they're
technology on dams is behind because the United States hasn't done it to it. And here's the kicker part. Croton Dam in that county, in 1907 when it was built,
Yeah.
rearranged hydroelectricity globally. From around the world, Japan, Europe, this before planes,
Okay.
before all this stuff. They got on horse and buggy and trains and they came through.
Do you have it on your laptop, Larry?
I believe I have this. Is that your district?
That's a district.
Okay.
And I can even point to you where it's at if it's up on there. But Croton Dam is right.
Here, let me go
Down
full.
there.
Let me go
Right
full
down
on
here?
Larry's.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
So Croton Dam is right down there. Croton Dam is an international historic site.
Hit control and roll. Hold down the control button
Control.
and roll your wheel. I hate these fucking websites. that do that.
Anyway,
All right,
that-
roll back.
that-
I was trying to make it bigger, but
You can see the
There
district
you
looks
go.
like it's part of Tetris, but
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
but Croton Dam is at the bottom part of Newaygo County, international historical site.
Okay.
That dam we don't have to tear out and replace, but it needs the infrastructure on the backside done because the ground wasn't built properly.
Okay.
So that dam needs roughly $130 million. But the International Historic Site, that supports the entire community of Croton on there.
Larry switched back to his laptop, and he didn't.
Yeah,
tell me.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway,
Cameras, Larry.
that one actually, there's
That's what I was doing.
international grant money for that dam that can get done. That's not federal tax dollars. But either way, handing the ownership to them,
Right.
and the money and revenue in the community
Right.
is important. And if we're going to pay to rebuild them,
Right.
why not make sure the electricity stays?
And that's the crazy thing is, as you're pointing this out, there's grant money here, there's grant money there.
I don't want it to
Why
go
are-
to California or New York.
Yeah, and why are we? There are businesses out there that want to invest in things,
Yeah.
but if you give them Green New Deal bullshit that doesn't work, and you give them that's the only opportunity they have, they're going to invest in it because they want to do something.
And
So give them real solutions, real investment opportunities where it benefits them. As you said, the 50-50 split there, and they don't have to pay for maintenance. They're like, that's hell yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, and they will put up that money. They'll propose $1 billion plant. You know, if they can get some tax breaks or some tax incentives or something going on there.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, you're going to save $100 million on this, but you're going to spend $1.5 billion on this total build.
yeah.
I guess that works out in your
That-
head for the math, but okay,
That's why I talk about biomass electricity and things that work.
100%.
Every single state in the union, there are states where windmills work. There are states where solar panels work. There are states where different types of electricity work. And what we have to do is be smart enough to know just because it works in the middle of the desert in Nevada doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's necessarily going to work here.
100%.
Well, you know, I used to live in Robbinsville, North Carolina, and there was.
I knew there was a hillbilly in you
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yep, there was Fantana Dam. That wasn't too far from us, about 45 miles. And you would remember the dam from the movie The Fugitive, because that's where.
Oh, that's the one he went off of?
That's the one he did
I
the
love
Peter
that
Pan
movie.
off of.
Yeah.
So
Right
and
here.
that
He
dam.
did a swan dive off
you
this
can-
dam right here.
Yeah,
Sorry, I love it.
and he did. But
Fantana
I-
Dam, though, that sounds like a pop. We should
It
make
does.
a brand of Fantana Dam.
Yes.
Go.
But that's what they have huge generators that are operated by water turbines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you can tour it, and it's like we have all kinds of stuff. They could put underwater turbines 20 feet under the water in Lake Sinclair. You have an 8-mile-an-hour or Sinclair River, excuse me.
Yeah.
You have an 8-mile-an-hour current to the south.
Yeah.
That never stops.
100%.
Right.
You could do stuff in the Straits of Mackinac. You could do stuff. You could do stuff with the just the simple flow. They have these in other countries where they have it just with the waves. The ebb and flow of the waves turn these what the hell are they called? But they're a thing. And they generate energy by going back and forth of the waves. But you're also talking about the currents in
Yeah.
the water that are naturally
Yeah,
there.
if you got a 8-mile-an-hour current of millions and millions and millions of gallons of water that are flowing southbound in the north and south channel of the Sinclair River.
Yeah.
I mean, even the freighters after a certain depth don't touch it. You can put turbines down there.
You know what I'm hearing a lot on that side of the table is a lot of common sense, and it's really disturbing. It's really bothering me. I'm thinking that,
I can try to act stupid for a few minutes. I've done that once or twice in my life.
Pretend you're a Democrat.
But would the fish? Would every once in a while a fish get caught in the turbine?
Oh, jeez. No, I'll put a screen in front of it.
But would they get caught on the? But
They'll get
would a
cut in
fish
half,
get
huh?
caught?
I'll put up
on
a
the
sign
screen?
that says "No fish allowed."
Hey, we got some of those signs.
Well, they're taking down signs. No, you got to get rid of Crime Watch signs. Somebody's going to feel neglected.
Oh yeah, they celebrated the last sign coming down in one of the Detroit neighborhoods. I'm like, are you?
You know, here's something that I might actually propose in the state senate. I'm being slightly facetious, but this is something I would just propose to bring some common sense back. I think we should have party voter registration on one condition. Everybody who registers as a Democrat gets to house an illegal immigrant family.
100%.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
And
Every
pay a
single one.
higher income tax rate.
No,
And then-
Let's just let them. That's enough punishment.
And then every single Democrat that registers as a Democrat
Yeah.
has to go through a 6-month waiting period to buy a firearm.
I like that because
Yes.
it's about 40% of Democrats own firearms in this state.
And they commit 90% of the shootings.
But I'm saying the legal, lawful
Yes.
ones that there's a lot of Democrats. Dude, I sold a gun to my Chicago, my former guitar player that's now passed away, saxophone player in Chicago. His brother was a lawyer.
Yeah.
And started asking him, where to buy a gun. And he knew I bought a gun for my wife, and she didn't like it. It was a little 380,
Yeah.
little Spectrum. It's the same as my.
It's like a BB gun.
It looks actually like the James Bond little Walther.
Yeah.
But it's made by. It's actually called Spectre, is what it was called. The gun itself, but it was made by.
Yeah. You got to shoot a mouse
Taurus.
16
It
times.
was made by Taurus. Anyways, long story short, he comes to me and he goes, I know you got that one gun that you bought for Tanya and you want to sell it. He's like, my brother's looking to go. So we did all the paperwork. We did a proper transfer. You take the gun and the paperwork to a dealer, and they sign off on it, do all that stuff. So we did all the. His brother was a hardcore Democrat lawyer, but he felt that he needed a little pea shooter for protection. And I'm like, well, I bought this one for my wife as a gift, and we made a little deal. Dude, there's a ton of Democrats that own guns, but yeah, let them wait 6 months to get a gun.
They're the
I
ones
like
committing
that.
most mass shootings.
Yeah. Do you know that what's the highest, Larry, the highest gun ownership is throughout Metro Detroit?
I'm not sure on that.
I'm pretty sure we've discussed that when we've had
Yeah.
some gun experts on the show.
Yeah,
I'd
we
also like a
have.
bill that says remove warning labels.
Yes.
Right? If you're too fucking stupid, then the Darwin Award goes to you.
Natural fucking selection.
Well, you know what they
If we're
say.
going to waste money on the bill, I think that's another one.
People,
Yeah, you're earning them.
people like AOC and Rashida Tlaib are why they put warning labels on shampoo.
It's pronounced Rashithead Tlaib.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Larry.
I have comments about Rashida Tlaib, but I'm not even I'll reserve comment even.
Well, at least I didn't. At least I didn't mention Jassa Clan Benson.
Yeah. I don't want you mentioning Jocelyn Besser. Larry, read us out a couple of the. I know you've been monitoring on there. Gypsy Magic's blowing some stuff up, and so is Weston 55R. He says he'll get a job at the data center and buy a real sharp pair of scissors and start snipping green wires. Green wires 1 week and blue wires the next week. What's Gypsy Magic saying there, Larry? You reading it?
Cost-benefit analysis of windmills, both short and long-term, have many factors involved and have been debated vigorously over recent years. The jury is still out.
The problem, I'm going to tell you, the problem that from my research that I've done on windmills and solar is that they work on a small scale, especially if you have solar panels on your house. But the biggest problem with both windmills and solar is that you have to have storage systems, and our large grid system is not built for storage. It's built for direct access and live time ramping up. So that's why you have, like right now, this is peak time. Well, the sun's not shining and maybe the wind is blowing, but that's hit or miss. If you don't have large scale storage, then you can't dissipate that energy out during peak demand. And that's one of the major problems. But if I have solar panels on here and I run them into a battery bank here, then I can dissipate it myself, offset my costs. That works on a small scale. It would work for a Walmart or a Myers or Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, where you have it on the buildings and they can dissipate it during the day. They could put in a battery bank. I know Tesla has some particular batteries, and there's some other ones, and I think China, as much as problems with China, but they just came out with another. Because the solid state iron batteries are actually the most efficient. Even with Tesla has an iron battery. They weigh a ton, so they're not automotive, but they are for buildings, and you can put these iron-based batteries, and they're huge. They can go 50 years and not lose their cycle times, and you store it right off your building, but it doesn't translate to large industrial scale feeding a whole community. It does on a simple building or a home.
And that's the changing of the building code so they can actually work. In the future, they have things called sodium-ion batteries they're looking at.
Those are huge too.
And and that's, these are all renewable things where you're not doing massive mining, creating a ton of different
Correct.
jobs.
Well,
all
that's
over
the
place.
speculation of the lithium, that the reason that the hurricane steered towards the mountaintops and flooded out the mountaintops is because the people wouldn't sell sell out on those mountaintops because they found the largest deposit of lithium there in, was it North Carolina?
Well, that's why batteries are so efficient, because you take diesel equipment up the side of a mountain and you dig holes. You truck diesel fuel up to these smoke-creating pieces of diesel equipment, and so you can load a truck that burns diesel fuel and ship it across the country to where it can be.
They say 100, it's 100 barrels of oil just to harvest the material to do a windmill. And it never, and I understand what Gypsy's saying, I understand what you're saying, but looking at the cost of benefit from what I've studied, the large commercial industrial ones never recoup their costs. They have 600 gallons of oil just to keep them lubricated. You can't recycle the carbon fibers once the blades themselves are destroyed. You've got several tons of concrete and rebar for the bases for them, the electronics, the gears, all that metal in there. They never ultimately. If you're going to make a technology that's going to benefit society, it should not be profitable day one, but it should be generating something that works towards profitability.
Have you ever driven through the Thumb and noticed how many of those windmills are locked in place?
Because they can't go over, was it 15 or 18 miles an hour? If the wind gets past that certain level, they have to lock up because the wind's blowing too hard.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you just drive up there on a regular day that's not windy, and you'll see like 5 windmills turning and 30 locked.
That's why I said it's a failed $6 billion experiment.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I mean, with Michigan's natural gas, we expanded with a couple regulatory changes.
Yeah.
There's no reason we can't build more natural gas power plants.
100%.
And a lot of that natural gas replenishes itself in those wells.
Yeah.
Right.
From the thermal in it. And that's where a lot of it comes from. It comes from our crust, you know. And the other part is, I mean, as long as the planet's spinning, it's a source of energy. The other thing we can do with a couple regulatory reforms is manufacture our fertilizer right here in the United States off that natural gas, creating thousands of jobs.
Yes.
To supply the entire country from the ammonia nitrate.
Right.
Instead of shipping it from the Middle East, from wherever.
Right.
Michigan can legitimately lead the way in energy independence as a state with alternative fuels of natural gas, biomass, all these different things.
Yes.
And instead of sitting there looking at the rest of the country like, we're going to do it like you, screw you guys, we're going to do it like Michigan can do it.
Hey, let's follow the failed guys over there.
Yeah, we can do it our own way.
Yes.
And then stop with all this bull crap that they do in Lansing 24/7.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to pick on another one of my opponents. I'm not going to mention their name because he's so far behind me in the polls it doesn't matter. He sat there, and the guy always is, I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray, I'm going to pray. He's the type of guy that you could have a wall that needs to be painted. And he'd be praying about it for 2 years. And then he'd be wondering why the wall's not painted. And, I mean, the thing is, faith without works is dead.
There you go.
And if you're not going to sit there and commit to your faith to do anything and commit to action, then it's useless.
Well, when they say you can hope in one hand and take a shit in the other and see what happens first.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan actually had this unique joke about a farmer.
Yeah.
And Ronald Reagan had a lot of jokes about farmers,
Yes.
but this one was about the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
He sat there, and this farmer, he went to church. He goes, Pastor, you need to come and see my crops. The pastor showed up, and he goes, oh, these crops are beautiful. God really did some work here on the crops. And he sat there, and the farmer looks at him and like, okay. And he's like, oh, these cucumbers are so good. God really blessed these cucumbers. And he kept going through, and he blessed it. And he sat there, and he goes, Pastor, you should have really seen it when God plowed the field. He drove that tractor so damn good.
Right?
He drove that tractor so damn
Yeah.
But it's like, you have to have faith that your garden's going to grow. Yes, you have to have faith that it's going to
But you
rain.
got to get out there and do it.
Yes. And there's so many of these
you mean
pastors.
you got to do work?
Dude, faith, he said it. Faith without works is dead. And I get tired. I do have a pet peeve with people that go, oh, it wasn't me, it was all God. I'm like, wait, you weren't the junior partner that was out there doing the work?
Well,
because last time I checked CEOs, they just approve in the board meetings the work that other people are doing.
God gave us free will. He gave us independent thought. If he didn't give that to you, then what's it for?
And to discount the work that people do, it literally says, Proverbs 16, to man belong the plans of the heart, from the Lord comes the reply of the tongue. Commit your works to the Lord, and they will be successful.
Here's a
It's like,
famous.
okay, I got to have a plan. And then I got to listen for the Lord to go, you can't see what's coming, so adjust your plan here. I see what's coming, but go forth with your plan.
What I've also noticed,
Talents on loan by God.
Exactly. Yeah,
you ever I sit there and I hear these other people like, I've always noticed there's some people that are Christians that God always agrees with them. And if you're truly listening to God and you're truly praying,
yeah,
sometimes the answer is just no.
right.
And you got to understand when it's no.
Exactly. I tell people all the time, I'm like, wait, you didn't hear God? I just heard it again today. I was listening to something, and they were talking about, we're at the baseball game. The kid works at Amazon, one of the centers. And so me and Vince immediately were like, oh, you work there? He goes, actually, it's a pretty good job. He's like, but, we got into it somehow. Designated times where you can go use the bathroom on your break, right? We're like, okay. And I go back to this because I had somebody years ago when I was doing full-time church services. He go, I bet you ask God if you can even use the bathroom. I'm like, you do it on a job site, don't you? You do it with your boss. You ask your boss for permission to go take a piss if it's not on your regular break time. So if I'm in prayer and I didn't plan ahead and I got to take a piss and I go, Lord, is it all right if I come out? You designated me to be in this prayer time, and I'm gonna do you less than a physical boss. That's ridiculous. My point is, he said to me, I bet you ask God even if you got to go take a piss. I'm like, dude, if you're not hearing God about putting the cart back in the parking lot or taking a piss when you should be focused on him, you're not going to hear him about running for office and have clarity. You're going to be sitting there going, is that really you, Lord? I don't know. Did you listen to me when I told you to pick up trash? I picked up a rock yesterday in the parking lot. I was in the parking lot walking into Dunham's, okay? I get out of my truck, and there's a big old a rock, because they got rock beds around the trees and stuff like that in the thing. And I get out of the truck, and I look down, and there's a rock. And the Lord goes, don't you even think about it. And I grab the rock, and I walk 20 feet as I was heading into the store, and I dropped the rock in the rock bed as I walked in the store. And he goes, was that difficult? And I go, no. So when he tells me to do something important, you know what? I listened to him on something that had no significance to anybody, not even the rock, But somebody else didn't pull into that parking space and roll over that rock or spit that rock out as they're backing out or something else, And I'm like, dude, these people that do that same thing, I'm just waiting to listen on God. If you got a relationship with him, Jesus said, my sheep hear my voice and won't follow another. I mean, it's like, dude, come on. This is not rocket science. This is not brain surgery. These are simple things that you go, Lord, what should I do over here? Lead, guide, and direct me by your Spirit. Pretty sure Corinthians says, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they're the sons of God.
So how many opponents do you have?
3.
3?
Yeah.
I looked them up. Not impressed.
You could probably figure out which one would be painting the wall still.
I'd have to go back to it again. I was looking it up on, I think Ballotopedia was what came up. I want to get into, since we've switched over a little bit into the religious dynamics on this, I want to talk about your stance on right to life.
Sure.
We know that Tudor Dixon kind of jacked up her thing, and we've had a couple other candidates on governor level or just below that that have made some. They didn't know how to navigate answering the question in such a way, and they got tripped up. It's one of those hot button issues where you go, oh, you're not for this, oh, you're not for that. Can you answer the question? Can you answer the question? Can you answer the question? Didn't your favorite chick browbeat? Was it Tom Barrett in that one? I can't remember, but she would just hammered it, and he's like, dude, there's other issues on there.
I think he's talking about Alyssa Slobskin.
Dude, I didn't want you to say her name. I know she's your girlfriend, but leave it alone. It's a side piece.
It's a side piece.
No, so
At least I didn't
it's one
call
of
her Alyssa Foreskin that time.
Stop, Larry. So I know it's one of the things right on the front page, right off the bat on your website. But this right to life stance. Tell the people out there, what does that mean for you?
Well, for me, I actually believe life begins at conception in general. I just do. And I can do science or religion. I've learned to argue both arguments. And what I've learned in our modern society is if we're going to fight Democrats, we got to fight on their battlefield. If they chose a battlefield, I'm going to kick their ass on it.
Right.
What is the definition of life? What is the definition?
Well, they
It is
can't
a
even just, they can't even give you a
single-celled
definition.
organism.
They can't give you a definition of what a woman is. So
Yeah.
you're already tripping them up.
It's a single-celled organism.
Right.
So now we have to sit there and measure within that of like, what about true endangerment to the mother's life? Guess what? There's a such thing as a tubular pregnancy.
Yep.
That will kill the mother 100% of the time.
Correct.
Period.
Right.
That choice should belong to her. Period.
Correct.
Because I'm on the religious aspect, I'm not God.
Right.
On the scientific aspect, I'm not the doctor.
Correct.
You are going to die.
Yeah,
that-
that is a completely
and-
different
And it's
scenario.
a 0.003%.
And the fact that Republicans can't sit there and have that conversation tells me they don't understand what life is.
Exactly.
And they want to sit there and be here and not have common sense.
Correct.
I mean, so that's
That's beautiful. No,
Yeah,
that's
it-
exactly what I wanted. Because just as you said,
That's
a
not
single
the same
cell.
thing as an abortion. It's
100%.
This is a medical
There
necessity.
are
This is a
there are
procedure
some
to save
far-
a woman's life.
There are some
it's
people
not
that-
birth control.
There's some
Right.
people on our side that still see that as an abortion
Mm-hmm.
because they don't understand science. They don't understand you will die. This is not an
This
if,
is
answer,
not an
but.
if, answer, but.
But the beautiful thing is God blessed us with science and technology. He gave us a brain to advance science. And I believe in the next 10 or 20 years that abortion from a tubular pregnancy will be unnecessary. I truly believe that we'll be able to move that child so it has an opportunity to life and that this won't be an argument anymore.
Right.
And I look forward to those days.
Yeah.
And having the argument about true endangerment and choice. When a woman goes, "You're taking my choice away," and that's the first thing they say. Last I knew, sex took two to tango.
Right. 100%.
In 98% of pregnancies,
Yeah.
a choice was made.
A choice was made. Yeah.
98%.
Well, and they go, "It's rape and incest," and I go, okay, that's 0.07% of all abortions.
I'm rounding
Yeah.
up at two.
Yeah, no,
I'm rounding
no,
it up.
but I'm saying-
it's like, but it's at the end of the day, if somebody goes, "What about rape and incest?" Listen, do I personally, do I oppose abortion in the case of rape? I do. But the other part is I'm not going to sit there and
You're not going to dictate to somebody else.
I'm not going to be the advocate.
Right.
Because I also sit there and I've done mental health enough
Yeah.
to know that some of these people commit suicide.
And-
And the mother and the child dying or that, but I'm going to be as compassionate as possible and try
100%.
to be there to make sure they make the choice of life.
Isn't the problem when we nationalize these arguments, I mean, for the longest time we had Roe versus Wade. It wasn't even law. It was just case law. It wasn't legislative law that was passed. It was case law that everybody followed. But it was not. It was this overarching thing. Trump comes in, or not Trump, but he brings in new justices. They kick it back to the states, and there was this total uproar of, he just got rid of our right to choose. No, he actually kicked it back to the state where it's supposed to be, but you're so fucking stupid that you don't understand that dynamic. And then the ones that did, we passed a bunch of stupid laws here in Michigan. We passed a bunch of laws in California.
But it's because Republicans didn't know how to argue it.
Correct.
At the end of the day, they didn't know how to argue it.
And your argument is extremely articulate, and that's
what
what I love.
what blows my mind on this, Christian conservatives have become really, really, really fucking lazy. They
yeah.
believe God is so weak that they need to legislate him.
Right.
If you're a real Christian, in my mind,
Yeah.
you need to teach the compassion of Christ. If somebody gets raped, I'm not going to sit there and start judging them. I need to be the shoulder and the compassionate arm for them to
Yep.
cry on in order to get them, to
Yep.
encourage them to pick the right decision, not judge them. They didn't commit anything wrong.
When I was 18 or 19, I protested abortion. Okay, we went and sat in front of a clinic before it opened up. Cops knew we were coming. I thought it was kind of a stupid that we did, but we sat in front of a clinic. I was one of the first ones to get arrested. But the thing that appealed to me about everything leading up to it, I was taken to multiple meetings through my church connections, to multiple homes, with people. Larry, you going down? I was taken to multiple homes where I was shown these older couples that had had kids. Okay, their kids are grown, they'd gone, they got bedrooms. Guess what they had? They had a little boys' room and they had a little girls' room. And by those two rooms, I mean you walk into the bedroom and there are shelves around the whole room with different infant, toddler clothing in these rooms, okay? And then there's a toddler bed, there's a bassinet, there's all sorts of stuff. There's all this stuff, right? Either through donations or they stocked it up themselves, okay? And so I'm walking in here, and this is what I'm experiencing. And the number one thing they said was, we're not trying to shame these girls. We want to block the doors so that we have just enough opportunity to tell them there's an alternative, and we will take them in free of charge, house them, and help them get through their pregnancy. And then if they want to put it up for adoption, we will help do that. If they want to keep it, we'll help do that. And I was like, okay, I can get involved in that, because that, to me, is a true solution to the dynamic. You know, just going and protesting at the doors and telling them they're a slut and they shouldn't have done that's bullshit. And I'd like to,
Yeah, those are good Christians.
right?
Ask them.
Yeah, oh, they think they
My
are.
grandmother used to tell me, if you got to sit there and tell somebody you're a Christian, then you
You're
got
not.
a problem.
Yeah, you're not.
And that's the one thing I've been picking on all three of my opponents at debates is like, if you got to scream it from the mountaintops, you got a problem.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
least without action. I had a veteran I brought this up to you. I had
Yes.
a veteran. He's
Yeah.
married, 3 kids. Got evicted from his place, talked to his landlord, said, don't do the eviction. They're at my house right now. Going
You
in
talked to his
between.
landlord.
And I sat there, it's
Yeah.
like, listen, go ahead and come on in here. They're staying in the house. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, I sat there and I had somebody because I had somebody, I smoke cigars once a week still. So,
Nice.
and I go to the cigar lounge. And
Did
I
you
go in
bring
there.
one?
What?
Did you bring one
No, I
tonight?
didn't.
Dude.
I don't smoke in the van.
Oh, well, we could have.
Yeah, but the cigar. So I go to the cigar lounge, have a cigar there. Usually cranberry juice. Sometimes I'll have a drink occasionally. But
Okay.
the interesting part about it is they sit there. It's like, Tom, you always have somebody in your house. And they sit there. It's like, what do you mean? They're like,
You're always taking somebody
You
in,
had a
dude.
younger kid. You had this younger couple with a kid.
Yeah.
And instead, I brought them in and worked through them on how to get a job and stuff like that. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't use it that much. It's
About knocking doors, man.
You got a big house. It's like, yeah, they can come in and use it.
Right.
And the thing is, I watch these people who scream from the mountaintops how good they are, they won't open a door.
No, exactly.
So if you're going to be pro-life, you need to be pro-life.
Exactly.
In my mind, you
Exactly.
have to actually commit to the action.
Right.
You can sit there, I can get on my knees, and I can pray about it. But if I am going to commit to zero action, my prayer is useless.
100%.
The intent, and that's probably one of the reasons I'm also running on this, is I plan on not just sit there. I'm not going to just sit there and pray. That's not going to be my only weapon. I plan to be the biggest pain in the ass, absolutely human possible, because I was raised with a moral compass.
Yeah.
And I fucked up in life, and I fully admit that all the time. But at the end of the day,
But you
you're not
learn
gonna
from those fuck ups.
Yeah, you're not going to stop me from doing what's right by people.
Yeah.
I was knocking doors. I'm not going to bring up this lady's name or anything like that, but I was knocking doors. And one of my opponents used to be in charge of a aging commission. 6 years ago, he told this lady, I'll get you a mobile oxygen tank. And I talked to her for 20 minutes. And she doesn't have any family members, anything of that nature. Well,
Okay.
with Kurt passing away, I sit there and I talk to my ex, and I was like, hey, listen, I'd like to give this lady a mobile oxygen machine.
Yeah.
So we agreed to that. She just got done cleaning it up and sanitizing it. Later this week, we'll take it up there.
Okay.
And I've had other people that I ran into at the doors that, like, they have stomach problems and little medical issues and stuff like that. And I've taken the approach of,
What can I do right now?
I'm going to stop right now and fix this now.
Yeah. What can I do right now?
It's 10 minutes.
In this moment.
Yeah, that's it.
No, I'm going to give you a campaign promise that I'm going to take care of it.
Yeah, but that's what blows my mind. I sit there and
Fuck, dude.
I say, yeah. I sit there and it's just like, everybody's like, well, you don't pray in front of people. I don't need to. God already told me to sit there and stop. I'm standing there, fix the problem.
Right.
Fix it now.
Right. Dude, I have to be told periodically, you need to pray.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't pray for dinner,
No.
but in my heart, I'm like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
You know? But he'll tell me, he'll go, you need to pray. And I go, all right. Pray for the meal. And I go, all right. Because I know what, right? I'm already giving thanks
Yeah.
in my heart. I already know what my direction. The other thing he'll tell me is he'll go, and you have to say in Jesus' name. And I go, Lord. It's my wife. My wife goes out, does business, signs checks, right?
Yeah.
Her last name's Gibbs. That's my name. She took my name, so she's operating my name. She doesn't have to walk into the bank and go, and I'm operating in Jeremy Gibbs' name, amen. You know? And I go, all these people that go, and in Jesus' name. Wait, you didn't know who you're operating in? But we don't. The modern Christianity doesn't have these concepts that if you took the Lord's name in vain. The way you take the Lord's name in vain is
I
claiming
just
that
say
you
a lot
know
of
Him.
F-bombs. I don't use his name too much.
Well, I'm just saying, you take the Lord's name in vain when you say you belong to Him and you do things contrary to what He's telling you to do, or contrary to what you've read in Scripture that He did. That's when you've taken His name in vain. You're the bride of Christ, but you have taken His name and say you represent Him, but you're doing things contrary to what He would do. That took His name in vain.
Yeah.
Using GD or, saying Jesus Christ when you're pissed off, that's cussing.
I just use F-bombs.
Exactly. Well, that's what I do. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So I love the answer on right to life, and you're right. They don't know how to navigate it. They don't know how to do it because these are easy, simple. I had a neighbor, and he comes in and he's like, "Well, I don't like Trump because he's for whatever the exact stance was." And I said, if you can admit to me that 97% of all abortions are simply
They're elective.
they're birth control. That's all they are. You fuck somebody, you didn't, do precautions, whatever. It's birth control. Then we can talk. If you can admit that, then we can talk about the intricacies and the dynamics of the other 3%. But if you can't even admit that it's just simply birth control and a lack of responsibility, and it took two to tango, then we're not going to talk about the 3% that are touted by the left all the time of incest, abortion, or complications. Or incest or rape. We're not even going to go to the 3% if you can't own the 97% that are simply elective. I fucked a guy and I didn't take care of it, and he doesn't want to be responsible for it. Or take the Dave Chappelle thing on the other side. He's like, wait, you're going to keep the child, and I'm going to get charged with child support? Wait a minute. If you got the right to get an abortion, I got the right to not to pay child support, But there's these dynamics that they won't even approach, and smart, savvy people, if they pay attention to it, can be.
And if we're going to be truly pro-life, we need to reform how adoptions work
100%.
and how CPS works and how
CPS
we weaponize
is
it.
so horrible.
Oh, on the back of one of my flyers, it's actually issue number 7. If you go to my website, you probably will never see a candidate ever that puts CPS on their website.
Because CPS is one of those sacred
Criminal
cows.
Perpetuation Services.
Nice.
Thomas.
Do I have to type in it all? I was going to type in the name. I was just going to.
It'll pop up if you type on Tom Norton, probably.
It'll come up.
Yeah.
Not the Ballotpedia. You want to go to your
I'm on Newsmax
right
a
there.
lot.
No. Where's that? You are on Newsmax,
A lot.
dude. I'm gonna have.
I
to
do foreign policy on Newsmax.
I'm gonna have to type in Senate.
Well, yeah.
Then it'll give me your website because I did this earlier today.
Man, I was a lot fatter then. But
Dude, all right.
if you scroll up and you'll click issues,
Oh, back to issues.
you click the issues part right there.
Okay.
It's something that you'll actually notice.
See, this is what I was saying earlier. It didn't. It came up blank.
I shouldn't have.
I know.
Oh, they must have done an update.
Yeah, and it's not coming
Uh-oh.
through.
My kids are playing with it.
What do we got on Facebook?
It was one of the videos on Facebook. But I actually talk about CPS on there significantly.
Okay.
Like an actual CPS reform. And what I want to do with CPS, I want to copy. The state of Ohio has a phenomenal setup where it's ran by the county. CPS needs to be handed to the county prosecutor, county sheriff. If it's a crime, it's a crime. If it's not a crime, it's not a crime. I've met veterans that sit there and get investigated by CPS during divorces
Yeah.
for simply having PTSD and they've never touched their kids. And they have CPS, 62% of the kids that go through that system commit a violent crime against somebody.
Of course. Because they're taken out of a home environment. They're not loved the way that parents would love them, for better or worse.
Even
shitty parents.
Yeah.
At least the kid know. I mean, I've sat with kids, being a youth pastor, and the shitty kids. They go, "Yeah, my mom." I'm like, dude, and I don't want to say anything out of turn, but they go, "Yeah, but she's still my mom."
Yeah.
It's like, we know she's a fucking horrible person, but still my mom. You don't talk about her.
Yeah. I sit there in the CPS part of it. I sit there and I look at this stuff. If people have adopted a rescue dog and the dog's been through 3 homes, the dog's violent.
Right.
At the end of the day, we are still primal to a certain level and a certain degree.
Yes.
When you open up your Bible, it talks about family units and things of that nature. It talks about bad families. There's examples inside the Bible of all this stuff.
In James, it says that the religion that someone holds to be pure and sacred is to look after orphans and widows in their distress.
Yeah.
If anyone considers himself religious and yet does not keep her tight rein. He's like, the religion that God holds as pure as sacred is looking after orphans and widows in their distress. And the CPS is one of the most horrible government organized agencies that's ever come about that does not actually care about these kids.
And that's why I call it criminal perpetuation services.
Yeah.
They're going to create, if we want to reduce crime, reduce taxes, this is one of the places where we have to start in our society.
Yep.
And we have to focus on restoring the family, and
Yep.
we have to sit there and, if it was done at the local level, we could encourage it to become more family oriented.
100%.
Where the community will step in and take care of it. Because in a lot of counties around the state of Michigan, your sheriff, your prosecutor, a lot of us get to know them. And
You're Eaton County, right?
I am actually in Kent County.
Kent County.
Eaton County is actually not in my Senate district.
I'm trying to remember the map off the top of it. But do you remember the case of the little boy that was found in the dog cage?
Yeah.
My buddy was the ME, the chief ME on that case. Okay?
Yeah.
So I've sat out here in front of the fireplace and had him share with me the whole thing. We've talked about doing a documentary on it because of how horrible it was and how horribly it was handled. But here's a little kid with, I think he had autism, he had severe disabilities, mental disabilities, that ended up with an aunt or something like that, and she put him in a dog kennel, and he was, and by the time that they found him and he was dead and he was emaciated, and we're like, this was the CPS in charge of this child's welfare, and ended up in that condition, and yet they only put her in prison, like 3 years after the fact or 4 years. It took a long, drawn-out case.
These
It's like-
CPS workers will cover up abuse.
Yes.
There was a buddy of mine a couple years ago, and got a little bit passionate about it during this period. Went to adopt these two boys. One had oppositional defiance disorder, and he was a Marine.
Okay.
And definitely this is a very, 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 very faith-based family, and this kid would work to get kicked out of school.
Right.
So he took this kid while they were in the middle of the adoption process. And when he gets kicked out of the school, he goes to the school, brings a cooler full of water to the school with him and 2 chairs,
Okay.
and sits in front of the school with this kid and said, in this family, you will not get yourself kicked out of school. And sat in front of the school with him. CPS canceled the adoption and investigated them for child neglect for trying to make sure this kid's going to school with oppositional defiance disorder.
Yet they would have charged those natural parents with truancy charges. They've done it.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris was famous for it out in California, where she would
For the kids
she
getting
would
kicked
put,
out of school.
She would put parents in prison or in jail if their kids were truant.
Yeah.
But over here, they're gonna a
So
parent
you-
sitting there takes it, or a prospective parent sitting there taking the time to make sure.
Now, years later, both these kids ended up finding the 2 of them, and
Yeah.
neither of them have a successful life whatsoever, and clearly had 0 discipline the rest of the time.
Exactly.
CPS is blatantly responsible for the destruction of those kids' lives.
Right. And that's not even to
they're
say
horrible.
that. That's not even to say to go in. It's not even speculation, but I don't have any evidence to pull up immediately tonight. But the amount of child trafficking that they do through the CPS
Oh yeah.
to known pedophiles, known child molesters, known abusers
Yeah.
that they traffic these kids to, or houses that have one person and 10 kids, and you know the kids are being neglected and mistreated and not receiving any love or nurturing or support whatsoever. The people are just collecting checks off of them. They're just
The number one way that CPS hasn't destroyed a kid is when the kid joins the military. I have had a lot of them that served under me that they will literally say the military saved their life and the CPS destroyed them.
because it's a disciplinary. It's a structure of discipline,
That's
and
their
it's a
family.
cohesion of connection.
And the military.
Well, that's
becomes
the
their
appeal.
family.
That's the appeal of gangs and cults
Yeah.
as well on the negative side of it. But the gangs and cults, they have a sense of family, and they have a sense of obeying rules within cults and gangs, or the big boss or whoever's in charge is going to come down on you. And these are what kids gravitate on the negative side. Military and great home lives. That's what kids gravitate on the positive side.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a structure.
Yeah.
And if you don't, well, what Proverbs says it that if you spare the rod and spoil the child, he'll grow to hate you. You know, and it says, be careful to discipline a child because you'll save his life from hell. There's a dynamic there of if you love, my middle son got more swats than the other two kids, than my daughter who's the youngest and my son who was the oldest, right? He got twice as many swats, right? But as soon as the swatting was, as soon as the spanking was over, he was sitting with me for the next 3 hours. You know, we're hanging out because I didn't do it out of violence. I didn't do it out of anger. I did it because he did something in his personality that was unacceptable in his house, and I needed him to be the best that he can be. Right now, he runs the job site down the street. You know, I'm the GC, he runs the job site. Okay. Got every phone call. All right, love ya, bye.
Yeah.
You know, and I swatted his ass when he needed it, you know? So discipline without love is abuse, but love without discipline is also abuse.
Yeah.
And you got to invest in these kids.
Yeah.
And CPS doesn't give a shit about it.
Nope.
They want to. I've reluctantly a couple times alerted CPS on being in ministry times. You come across some situations you're like, this is the last thing I want to do, but I'm gonna make. But I've had CPS called on me a couple times, and they walk in and I'm like, you didn't do a fucking thing for these kids that I called on years ago, who were clearly in bad situations, and I was powerless to do anything to help. But you're going to walk into my house because somebody called you? Well, we heard you're running a cult. I'm like, because I'm doing church services out of my house? Because it's cheaper than renting a building downtown? And we broadcast everything on live stream? I'm a cult? And I looked at the lady, I goes, give me the definition of the word cult. And she couldn't. So I gave her the definition. I'm like, to occult something is to hide something. We do all of our services live stream. Just because it's in my house, and at the time I had an 8,000 square foot house. So the great room was a great room. I could put 50 people in chairs. I'm like, we broadcast from this room. It's not a cult because it's from my house. I had church services downtown for 4 years and had less people. I'm like, dude, but they called, well, we heard your daughter somebody inappropriately touched her during a New Year's party. And I'm like, really? And I bring my daughter and goes, honey, did somebody touch you? She's like, no, who said that? It was all bullshit.
Yeah.
But they'll come in and they'll do that to normal people, but they won't actually take care of an actual situation. And that's why, give you your phrase again, CPS is
Criminal Perpetuation Services.
100%. And they're not helping these kids be better. They're not, they're just, it's a whole grind.
They've turned it into a massive business.
Yeah.
But I've earlier talking about energy and stuff, but a lot of the big stuff that I talk about is like the CPS. It's a big damn deal. And
well, you said you're the only one that puts it up on your website, and I love that.
Yeah.
Tell them to fix that fucking website. I want to read it.
I'm going to put it up. We did an update last week. We were doing a couple updates last week. It probably got took down when we did it last week. I've been so busy.
We're streaming on 5 platforms right now, and I guarantee you there's
something's not working
something's
right.
got to work. Let's talk about the Second Amendment, and then I want to get into true reforms to kind of wrap up the show. I don't even know, my clock's not working. We're only an hour and 40 minutes into it. So
what time is it?
It is 7:30.
Okay.
Yeah, 7:37.
So.
Tell me when you got to go. We've gone.
Yeah,
covered a lot of more stuff than probably most people. So Second Amendment.
Let's talk about that because I really want to dig into that.
So Second Amendment, 2020, Jeff Fussa and myself did Second Amendment sanctuary counties.
Yes.
In the state of Michigan, we ended up doing 48 counties on the Second Amendment.
Out of how many are in?
96.
96.
And so I mean, we did a lot of counties, and we really, a lot of money was spent doing it.
$0.
$0. That many counties where the county commissioners helped pass.
Now,
that.
Larry likes to do in his opening, and I allow him to do it. Larry, show your paper. Show your paper there.
Which way?
Oh, you want to do it on the overhead?
Yeah, if I'm gonna. Oh, I gotta turn it the other way.
We'll turn it the other way. I'll pick it up for you, Larry.
There you go.
So right there it says Man Cave Studio B, and then in the next print there it says deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Sunday night conversation.
Yes.
So
We went beyond the step here of being a sanctuary county.
Yeah.
The commissioners actually,
I think that's where you guys a lot of your people first met me.
okay,
yes.
so that's a dynamic. What was the dynamic in Livingston County? Who was one of the first counties, first and foremost?
First county that we passed Second Amendment sanctuary county was, oh man, which one is it? It's Antrim.
Antrim County.
was
Okay,
the
yeah,
one.
I remember
That was
that
the first
now.
one because it ended up, the three that first started, it was myself and Trucker Randy and Jeff Fuss.
Okay.
We were the three that were the first three to start it
Okay.
together, and then it kind of blossomed out and exploded.
What does that look like when you're walking into? Are you walking into a county commissioner meeting? And
A lot of times, yeah,
and do a
but we were
public-
able to get
public
people to
address?
public address. A lot
Okay.
of us, a lot
Did you
of people.
touch base with the commissioners beforehand to say this is what we're coming in to talk
Some
about?
counties, yes.
Get them on their radar.
Some counties, yes. Other counties are like, yeah, we're just going to do this. So
Okay. Right.
that was a beautiful part about it.
Do you remember what happened with here in Livingston County? Because that's the prime reason Larry likes to tout constitutional Livingston County is it started with that Second Amendment, and then it morphed into refusing some of the COVID money and the
The
mandates.
east side of the state was primarily, because I was also running for Congress at that time.
Okay.
Was primarily Jeff Fuss was over here for the east side of the state.
Okay.
I did most of the west side of the state, like Calhoun County.
Okay.
Berry. In Berry County, oddly enough,
You
was
work
a
with Darleaf over there?
this was funny. Dar's comment to me is like, I don't need to pass this. We're already a Second Amendment county.
You go, but Dar, let's put it on the books either way.
Yeah, so we ended up getting it on the books.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I remember Darleaf telling me that, and I was sitting there like, okay, Dar.
Dar's
But
awesome.
I love Dar.
Can I pour you a
Yeah, I'll do a
partial?
small
we
one.
still got time.
I'll do a small one.
Oh, it's a Tullamore Dew.
I've never had it out of the little clay one.
It's
One of my buddies is a county commissioner. So I got a bunch of I got county commissioners and local elected officials.
You want to go one or two?
That's enough. That'll be more. Yeah, that's
So
more
about
than
a finger
enough.
and a half.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
That's more than enough.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna make sure you're.
Yeah, I got to drive home.
We're gonna
and do it
test you
legally
before
and
you go.
safe. Touch my fingers.
Well,
I'm just-
exactly. Cheers, my friend. It's been a pleasure so far. I look forward to more.
Yeah, and yeah, so that was an interesting one on that.
With
but-
Darleaf there.
Yeah, that
and
was
Barry.
interesting. But
Did you convince him? You go, look, dude, I get it.
well, we went. I
But-
talked to another. Her husband's a township supervisor now in the southern part of Berry County. And
Okay.
I just forgot her name. She's in my cell phone.
Doesn't it suck when you blank on that shit?
I have you get to know so many
Dude.
people, but
I just look at him and go, I remember
her
your
first name's Heather. I'm trying to remember her last name. Anyway,
Okay.
Heather goes. She was a county commission chair.
Okay.
And she's the one that actually kind of stepped in and convinced Dar that we need to do this.
Yeah,
and she was the chair of the county commission. She's like, and she goes, Dar, what happens when you're not the sheriff anymore?
Exactly. Get some stuff in place.
Yeah, that was her. I'm gonna remember her name later. And it's Heather and Tom. I remember her husband and her, and I know
Dude,
where they live. I could drive there right now. but
Doing
it's just like-
doing church ministry for off and on for 30 plus years. I go, you need a name tag because I'm gonna remember your story and your face.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna forget
same.
your label that your parents gave you. You know.
But yeah, so the Second Amendment, we did that, and the point of the Second Amendment is not for hunting. It's not for personal safety. It is
Right.
not for any of this other bullshit. It's meant to give the United States Constitution teeth and make sure that the First Amendment can be protected. The Second Amendment is to make sure the Third Amendment, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, the
100%.
Seventh.
Yeah.
And what's funny is most people sit there, and this is what drives me nuts about some of our court systems and laws, is and CPS as well.
Yeah.
5 of the first 10 amendments have to do with due process of law.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with freedom of religion, freedom of speech, or any of that. They're the first because they're important.
Right.
And they are, and it's the first and the second are the arsenal of the other ones.
Yes.
And it was to make sure that you had due process. And what happens is we need to, and that's one of the other parts. When I'm knocking doors, I tell people that I want to put the Constitution of the United States back in every single classroom
100%.
in public schools.
We got 2
Every
copies we keep on the table
last one.
every week. Yeah.
Because if you want to fight liberalism, put
Yeah.
that in the classroom. Watch
100%.
what happens.
Yeah.
In 20 years, their party's dead.
Yes.
And a lot of the big state Republicans are dead.
Right.
The only reason they took that out of public schools is to brainwash the general populace, and I don't care what
They don't
party you're
teach
a member of.
civics. They don't teach constitutionality. They don't teach any of that dynamics.
Yeah, so I mean that's what the point of the Second Amendment is in general.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when-
isn't even the Michigan state constitution goes even further? We've read it multiple times on the
it's
show.
one of the strongest Second Amendments in the entire country is the Michigan.
Because it says it enumerates self-defense.
I want to bring back Second Amendment days back to the state capitol. I think
How's that?
that'd be
Tell them
cool.
more.
Been a little while since I had that. It's good.
Yeah. It's a little. It's got a bit more peaty to it than.
Yeah, it's a little bit beefier than the glass bottles.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
But anyway,
But yeah, so the strongest one in the whole country.
Yeah.
Out of 50 states, it's huge.
We need to bring
Which is amazing to me that we could even have some of these red flag bullshit laws being passed and a bunch of other stuff because we have such a strong provision in our own state constitution that says it's for self-defense. So to have this bullshit being passed, I'm like, dude, we're even stronger than the Second Amendment of the national Constitution.
And here's the beautiful part. A couple of these people, like in my race, these people were running for state rep when we were doing the Second Amendment sanctuary counties. But I want to give truly hats off to, at the end of the day, and this is going to sound odd, Matt Maddock was really, really big in hopping on board with that early on.
Yep.
He was like the first state representative, and honestly, right behind him was Speaker Hall when he wasn't Speaker yet.
Okay.
So those two were phenomenal on getting on board of that early on.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, some of them weren't elected or anything like that. And a lot of these people were involved, and they wouldn't hop on board. They tried to hop on board after we had passed over half the counties.
Right. Armchair quarterbacks that act like they were with the Sunshine Patriots.
But I mean, even Larry would probably be a testament that Maddox was on board with this stuff extremely early.
Yes,
with
very
us,
early.
and so was Speaker Hall before he was a speaker.
Matt's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of these people that do something and try to do something
Right.
on there, and it's nice to have a couple of those in there. And I think Jonathan Lindsay was the other one, and he was running for state senate.
He's another good
initially
one.
at the time. Yep, and
Yep.
he was on there. But
Yeah.
I can't think of any other three names off the top of my head that were like really big within that group with us.
Right.
Early on the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And a lot of these groups, they make money and do endorsements to make people feel good because the general voter doesn't know. So what's funny is compared to the majority of state representatives, I've probably passed more positive things for the state without ever being elected.
That's the interesting dynamic is when you find out how many people, going back to Amanda Love, when she was not with us, she worked with the Secretary of State. She was a right-hand woman to,
Terry Lindland.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. You got a stink bug in your hat, Larry. It's bothering me. Pull it off. Hand it to me.
It's going to go under his coat. What'd that stink bug ever do to you?
It stinks up the place and flies in front of my cameras and just annoys the fuck out of me. Anyways, but when Amanda was in here, a couple different interviews talking about how much she worked with the legislators to draft bills, and until you get into the dynamics of politics, you don't realize how many bills are drafted by private citizens or corporations or other people, and then the legislature, the legislators will read it. And they'll go, okay. And so we hear a lot of times, if anybody hears anything, is that they sponsored a bill. Okay, but where did it originate? Obamacare was written by the insurance companies because they knew it would be an ultimate windfall for them. And then they came out and vilified it because they knew the public was too stupid to know that they wrote it in their favor. And then it flows through. And now it's the Affordable Care Act, and the premiums have quadrupled, or actually, I watched my mom's quadruple in 1 year.
Well, you're going to probably remember back being in a church. Remember when Governor Snyder was going after charitable gaming? Mm-hmm. And then there was an American Legion on the west side of the state that organized. Mm-hmm. That was me. I was the post commander.
Wow.
I organized legions,
Yeah.
VFWs,
Yeah.
churches, unions,
Right.
environmentalists. I didn't give a shit what party they were from.
Right.
Because charitable gaming did so much of suicide prevention. We watch in House Majority Whip Robert Sorry.
Stop it. That's you burnt that finger.
From burning your finger?
That's when I burned earlier.
Use the other hand.
Do you want another F-bomb?
I didn't grab enough. I've already said that so many times.
I think you've already earned the big bomb.
I probably have earned the big bomb.
I'm going to wait till
this is my favorite word. I just don't use it at the door.
You know what? It's one of my favorites, too.
Yeah, so anyways, Robert Hewen, Brandon Dillon,
Okay.
who was the Democrat minority whip at the time.
Okay.
We invited them all into this town hall at the Boat and Canoe Club.
Okay.
401 North Park, and that's where I was post commander out. And when they walked in there, we had 315 people sitting in this room. They're thinking, oh, these are members. And when I grabbed the microphone, I said, just so you three know, these aren't standard members. Every one of these people is a board member of a different organization.
Ooh.
And when I said that, I was like, they represent
Mic
probably
drop.
a grand total of 10,000 people
Mic drop.
on charitable gaming.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this in the UP next.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do this in Waterford. And we did 2 other posts. I think it was, they went back to Lansing. They overrode Governor Snyder in 90 days.
Wow.
90 days for charitable gaming. When they went after liquor licenses at Legions and VFW halls, Snyder
Right.
went after those. It took, it was myself, a few other veterans post commanders, former state senator Rick Jones,
Okay.
and a few others, and I think it was like 47 days.
And what's the liquor license there? Is you just
He wanted to make it so you could only buy a drink in the post you were a member of. You couldn't use your Legion card from one Legion to another.
Okay.
And it's because
And what is that? It's even a class. Is it Class A or is it Class C?
Class C, I think.
Class
But
C.
he was trying to support these casinos.
So you're talking about a beer, right? It's
Yeah.
just this Class C. It's a beer.
A beer at half these places.
Dude, come on.
So because they're club licenses,
Right.
and he was trying to support the casinos. We overrode him.
Which
And,
were already why fuck with them? Because the casinos are already under. Most of them are under tribal authorities anyway.
Correct.
So
So-
why the fuck even? Why?
So right here are 2 bills that most people wouldn't think are important, but are extremely important in funding homeschoolers, everybody that we helped organize. That in the charitable gaming, I literally organized and started it by myself. The
Right.
other one was a bunch of us together, and I wasn't even elected. And then CPS, as you know, is already my other thing. Is
Yeah.
CPS appeals investigations are recorded. Prior to 2017 or no 16, they weren't recorded.
Well, they won't even disclaim. They would say, "Oh, we're not allowed to tell you who called."
Yeah,
oh,
but-
so you can get an anonymous call and show up?
Yeah.
That violates my
But-
constitution. Got to right to face my
Yeah.
accuser.
But the 2006 prior to 2016, even escalations weren't recorded. And what happened was they walked into that's where the veterans were, the West Michigan Veterans Ranch.
Yeah.
They came in and were going after a few veterans from different places, and they'd call us because we did other stuff.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I organized about 30 veterans, and we went and knocked doors and rotated every other week for 6 months.
Wow.
Every single legislature's office. And they sat there, it's like, what will make you, and I organized some of the silent voices and them, organized some of them. They wanted full reforms.
Right.
And ended up getting the escalated interviews recorded. And that's what's created, and I told them then, I was like, listen, we're not going to reform this whole thing by ourselves. We're not billionaires.
Right.
But this is going to cause a crack in the dam.
Yes.
And eventually the dam will start to open.
Force 10 over Navarone.
And what's happened and it's beautiful because I had one
Nobody
of them.
got that reference.
I had one of them reach out to me recently, and he sat there. He goes, "Tom, people are finally paying attention." I was like, and he's like, "It took 10 years." I was like, and I was like, patience. Patience. I was like, his name's Lawrence, but he goes by Larry too. I didn't want to say Larry because you're sending me, but
Larry is not a Lawrence, and every time I tell him Lawrence, I go.
Anyway, so this other Larry that's involved in the silent voices, he's like 10 years ago I thought you were nuts when you're that, and he goes, and now I'm starting to see a crack.
Right.
And I was like, patience is important.
Right.
And it's just time. Sometimes you have to sit there and wait for that critical mass to start before other people stand up for it. They have
Correct.
to feel that pain.
Yeah, and a lot of people, you're in the Republican sphere. It's because we're the most staunchly independent. We don't want to, as long as you leave us alone, we don't get involved.
Correct.
In general, right?
Yeah.
And so you're out there knocking doors and trying to get people to get involved in all of these various issues that I'm hearing. You know, this is awesome because
When I knock doors for this race, I'm more focused on the issues of those areas.
100%.
And the advantage I
But
have
that
is I
affects
actually know
them.
Yeah.
And that gets they go, oh, I didn't realize that. You know, and that's the dynamic that we have to continually do to get the conservative majority back engaged, because we've been disillusioned, as you talked about, by the incumbents and the establishment and the party shills, but we've still got these issues that are affecting us, the dams, and then you're talking about working with the gaming and Second Amendment and right to life. All of these things are a priority to us, but we'd rather be fiercely independent than get involved. And by you knocking doors and touching base with people, you're getting them back involved. You're getting them injected back into the dialogue, into the conversation, and you're causing that to affect change. And that's why I said Force 10 over Navarone. That's an old Richard, the guy from Jaws.
Yeah.
Robert Shaw and Harrison Ford, one of his first movies. And they go and they blow up a dam from inside. They get down inside of it and they set off some charges, and it blows up. And Robert Shaw and Harrison Ford are running down the corridor to get away from the blast. It blasts. They get up covered in dust, and they're like, "It didn't work." I know. And the other actors on the outside, and they're like, "Where's the big kaboom?" He goes, "Wait for it. Just wait." And then a crack starts to appear, and then another crack, and then another crack, and another crack. And that's what you were doing with all of these dynamics, and that's what you continue to do. And that's what people don't get. It took time to get to this place of corruption and bureaucracy, and it's going to take time if we're going to preserve the system. If it's not just going to completely collapse and we you know, as the Constitution says, we're going to form a new government, which may ultimately happen. But in this present day and age, you have to work within the system, and you've got to set off these strategic charges to create cracks in the dam that will eventually bring the whole thing down.
Correct.
Yeah. We've touched on a number of these already, the ideas that you are looking at. But what about what are some other true reforms beyond CPS, Second Amendment's right to life, upseating incumbents, you know, by making it more of a part-time job and not having this huge establishment bureaucracy, but allowing them, but forcing them, not even allowing them, forcing them to be more community oriented.
Yeah.
And listen, you can go and serve, but you're not going to make your fucking living off this thing,
Well,
you know? So what are some other reforms that you want, or even these three, these four?
Those are kind of the big ones. Eagle's the other one.
Eagle, yeah, you touched on that one.
Restructuring Eagle.
Yeah.
Is another one of them.
Can you give us the acronym again for people in Ann Arbor? Rush Limbaugh used to say Rio Linda. I'm like, what's you were going to do it in Ann Arbor? Eagle.
It's the environment, government, enforcement, something.
Larry, pull it up. Pull up Eagle.
I can't
the
remember
acronym
exactly what it is.
Environmental
it's
advocacy.
basically the DEQ.
Yeah, it's another
It's
thing.
basically DEQ, but
Yeah.
I mean that. The other thing I'd like to do is build our roads in a way that are going to last long term. I'd like to be able to take it and really focus, because we have tax credits on stuff on here, and this would create other manufacturing jobs, is rubberized asphalt.
Okay.
Rubberized asphalt creates the roads, or the expansion and contraction is there longer. The roads last 3 times
Right.
as long. They
Right.
use it in Germany for 25% more, but 3 times the lifespan.
Yeah.
That just makes financial sense.
And they usually only do the roads. Now I know Larry's in that industry, but they usually only do the roads. They engineer them to last 10 years because that's the warranty and that's the contract.
Yeah.
And they want to redo it. And you mentioned the German roads, and I've studied a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Hitler designed those roads to last 100 years on the least,
Yeah.
and they would do up to a 10 to 12 foot concrete base underneath the road and then top it with a removable surface. And they can even do it now. I've watched multiple things on it where they can come through and take off the top 2 to 3 inches of asphalt in those roads and put it through a machine and repave it in one night.
Yeah,
they can do a whole section
We have that too.
over top of the concrete.
Yeah.
But a lot of our roads are depreciating because all we have is crushed limestone, and on top of that, and sand underneath that, and we're not engineering these roads as Eisenhower, copying the Nazi I don't want to say Nazi as a negative, but Hitler put in some phenomenal
Well,
infrastructure.
let's just call them what they were: Nationalist Socialist Party.
Correct. So
So,
anybody wants
Democrats.
to be Democrats, exactly.
Well,
So-
yeah. I mean, and I can't. There's nothing on here about Eagle. It's the AI.
You got to do
says-
the periods.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You
so
gotta
maybe,
you gotta use
but-
you gotta use one of the communist search engines like
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that will pop it up
But
for you.
but anyways, getting back to the asphalt. I mean,
Whose
we
fault?
got all these. We've got all these tires laying around
Yeah.
that people throw away.
And that's rubberized
And-
asphalt.
And that's right. You know. And guess what I do for a living?
Pave roads.
I pave roads. Yeah, asphalt.
Yeah.
So you know they refine they shred the tires and
Oh, there's
refine
no
it.
A in it.
No, it's EGLE.
Environment, Great
Great
Lakes,
Lakes
and
and
energy.
energy.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So
Fucking things
it's
up
actually
since
like
19
a fine powder. You run it in your hands. It's kind of
Yeah.
like pepper out of a pepper shaker.
Yeah.
That's how fine they grate it up. And then when they cook asphalt in the drum, right? You're talking about 320 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That the drum they're drying out the material. Then they're mixing the material. Then they're adding. Once the material is all mixed, the proper amount of sand, the proper amount of gravel,
Yeah.
right? Then that's when they add the liquid,
Right.
and it's all done inside of this big drum, kind of
Yep.
like a cement mixer that spins on the asphalt plant,
Yep.
right?
Then you add your aggregate and put it in your river, your live river.
Well, yeah,
Truck?
Well, I don't have a live bottom. I've just got a dump truck. So,
Okay.
but it's
So you're coming straight from the plant with a dump.
with a hot load
Dump
of
into the
asphalt.
hopper?
Yes, it's usually about 312 degrees. So by the time it hits the paver, you lose a little bit of heat and transportation.
But then
and
you got
stuff,
your
but-
steamrollers that come in and reheat it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but the paver has a heating element in
No,
the
but when you
screen.
come back and, yeah.
So-
These are all dynamics. But again, it is. We've
Rubberized
got,
asphalt, they're going to last a lot longer.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Reducing
understand.
costs on taxpayers.
Yeah, and not only that, but the road is available immediately. It takes half the time or less to prepare a road versus concrete. Concrete is more expensive, right? It doesn't last as long in the state of Michigan.
If we did it deep enough, it would.
You know, if
But
we
they
were gonna,
don't.
if we were gonna really,
that's the point.
If we were gonna really do this in Michigan, what we need to do, and we could do it. They've in the last 10 years they've started to figure out how Romans made concrete.
And then the key to it was the volcanic ash.
Yeah.
And we don't have any volcanoes here in Michigan, but we can import that, easily put that into the Portland cement and make
Yeah.
it phenomenal.
You take about states like Hawaii and some of these
Or
other
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, dude.
There is obscene amount of volcanic ash where we have live volcanoes around.
Yeah.
That we can be able to get this. The other part is we can actually, without it just being volcanic ash, they can make an ash equivalent to the volcanic ash through a
Okay.
manufacturing process.
Okay.
It might not be as good where it's resealing, but it's
Right.
stuff that as we make it, it can create new industries, make roads last longer, reduce costs.
Right.
And I get where road contractors are coming from trying to get more roads, but the problem is they can't even keep up with the ones they have.
Well, Whitmer ran 3 campaigns, or 2 campaigns at least, on fix the damn roads, and she's inept at doing that very process.
Well-
We drove to Tiger Stadium last night to watch the game. Go Tigers! They won 5-1. It was incredible. But there was 15 detours on the way there. My GPS. I know how
It's
to
an
get to
election
Tigers.
year.
I know how to get to Tiger Stadium. It's a piece of cake. All right, you're
Right.
taking 96, 696 to 10, and then you're getting
Well,
down.
you should see
It's like,
90. You should see 96 out where he lives.
dude, it's
Right,
ridiculous.
it's terrible out there. And what they do is they put all these barrels and all these cones and all these signs
It's not a
out
barrel, it's a state flower.
for
That is a
15
state
miles before you get to the section that they're paving.
Right.
Right. So
It's
you,
ridiculous,
these
and it
idiots-
creates such traffic jams.
Yeah, they create these
Well, we
gigantic
were
traffic
driving
jams.
through downtown Detroit last night, and we're just like I was on a back road in the UP, which the UP has actually really good roads up there. But I mean, I'm driving through this and we're just, I'm like, that's one place where do a 6 6-foot bed of concrete. You're already in a concrete jungle. Do a 6-foot bed, top it with rubberized asphalt, and if in 10 years we need to resurface it, you run a muncher through there, you resurface it.
We were on a job a couple of years ago. It's 2 years ago now. We were on a job. We were doing an emergency repair for the city of Detroit. Right? So, and we get into these neighborhoods and these roads are terrible, and we go to where the repair is. We get a paver down. We start getting ready to go. The supervisor shows up, and it's a black lady. And she gets out of her car, and she looks around, and she looks at her crew.
You
and
didn't
she
have
says,
enough
"What are
black
these
people in the
white
crew."
boys doing in my neighborhood?"
Yeah. So you didn't have enough black people.
Loud
in your
enough
crew.
for me to hear it. I was standing right next to her.
They have a quota. So my one of my buddies did work for about 2 years. He worked on the pavement stripers.
Yeah.
Putting down the actual rubber strips, not paint. They did some painting, but they did a lot of the stick down strips.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, anything we do in Detroit, we have to have 40% minority workers to even get the contract to go in there. And he said, we'll hire these guys and they'll work for one day and quit. You're talking $40, $50 an hour.
Yeah.
And you may be flagging while they're sticking stuff, while they're doing stuff. This is not labor intensive. And they will work for a day and quit. He says, we're doing more to try and hire minorities than we are actually doing
The work.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking ridiculous. That's another quota. It's bullshit. So this is one area.
Yeah.
Better roads. What's another area of
I want to remove
true
prevailing wage so people can, the state and your tax dollars go further.
Okay.
So removing prevailing wage, and I also want to put right to work back in place.
Explain those two for those in Ann Arbor. Right to work. Obviously, we know
Prevailing
wage first.
Prevailing wage is at $40 an hour to turn the flag. Okay.
Yeah.
That gets rid of it. I'm sorry, if you're sitting there and spinning a little sign, we shouldn't be paying you $40 an hour.
Yeah. Right.
I can hire somebody from one of the special needs schools to do that wants to be a greeter at Meyer, and they can spin the damn thing.
Exactly.
And listen to the radio, and the radio guy goes, turn.
Exactly.
I mean, so.
Dude, I've thought about doing those jobs. I'm like, how much are they paying those jobs? Because I can put I can put a podcast in my ear and just.
Great example. So up in, again, my district, in White Cloud, there's an old dam that used to do power years ago. It's not big enough for even justify grant money for power, but it's a huge aspect for that town for lake, fishing, things of that nature.
There's
a lot of
other
houses
dynamics,
down
yeah.
there. Local economic dynamics.
Yeah.
Well, the dam's there. They're making that drain them out because they're concerned about the, not the earthen part of the dam, the concrete structures. Well, it's $3.5 million. Or no, $10.5 million to repair this. And I went out there and looked at it. It's like, there's no way in God's green earth.
This is worth $10 million.
Yeah. But it's because of the prevailing wage.
And I deal with that difference between construction
Yeah.
contracting and residential contracting. It's 3 to 4 times my wage scale is 3 to 4 times just because it's commercial. And I walk into commercial and there's so much waste and bullshit.
They can rebuild the entire thing for $1.6 million without prevailing wage.
Wow.
Well, now you can get a grant, economic development grant,
100%.
to save the community.
Yeah.
Instead, they're sitting there and they're doing this. So this is where prevailing wage creates a huge problem.
Yeah.
Now, my brother-in-law, he gets prevailing wage on occasion. But the thing is, construction's gone up so much that even without prevailing wage, you can pay his bills pretty comfortably nowadays. Because free market will slowly drive up wages anyway.
Right.
But prevailing wage is making it so it's completely and utterly insane. And the other part is right to work. I'm sorry, but a lot of these unions are garbage. If you have a good union, like say like the Teamsters, are a pretty decent union.
Right.
A lot of guys, if they're in a Teamsters union, they're going to pay dues to get the benefit from a Teamsters union.
Right.
The unions need to be able to deliver a good, solid product and encourage people to join them in that fashion if they're delivering a product. Mm-hmm. Right to work is nothing more than a union actually has to compete to do a good job and be good for their employees.
Right.
That's what's funny is when we passed right to work, unions grew in the state of Michigan. People don't understand that.
They
Unions
don't get that.
grew under right to work in the state of Michigan.
Because they had to prove that they could do benefits for the people that were part of their membership. And they were like, we got to work on how do we attract people
Yeah.
to us now versus just having a government mandate that
Yeah.
forces people in.
Yeah.
And it made them better and more efficient and work productively for the employees that they represented.
Correct.
100%.
The other part is I would like to get rid of the state union. I don't think state employees should have a union.
I agree with you.
Period.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
Nope,
It is,
don't protect your job. You're
It is pillaging.
You're a bureaucracy, and we find out what we're doing. Who's proposing it? Is it Rebrandt that's proposing it right now for governor? One of them's proposing a Doge type program for. It might be multiple.
I think
Mike
multiple.
Cox.
Yeah. Oh, Mike Cox. Yeah, you're
Mike
right.
Cox
But they're
says he's-
proposing
Mike
multiple
Cox
to
says
do
he's
this
gonna
because
Doge
it's like,
that
Well,
automation.
my
Dude.
team doesn't want me to say this, but I think I'm going to go ahead and say it on this show. I think we should have a Johnson Cox ticket and fill every hole in Lansing.
you heard it here, folks. A Johnson Cox ticket will fill every hole.
In Lansing.
I don't know how we take that. Our good buddy James is chiming in the chat. He says, pleasure to meet you at the debate the other night.
Oh, okay.
Were you at? Did I see you at the
I was
debate?
at the
the other
debate.
night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You said
yeah,
hi
yeah.
to me.
I did. I introduced you.
Yeah,
To, I
Johnson and
introduced-
Cox were having a tailgate and a party next to each other.
They were. They were. Yes.
Read the last two from. I don't know what the reference. Look up the reference for Revelation 21. I should grab one of my Bibles over there.
Yeah,
in
I
the drawer.
introduced
is,
them to our friend Jim.
So the first one's
Best answer to the. Is that what's when you're reading?
an analyst says when else both short. That's the gypsy music.
Yeah. So the
Bible
last one for
also.
Gypsy Magic, other than the,
The best
Revelation
answer
quote-
to the whole issue of abortion is for the Christians to continue publicly proclaiming the message of the cross before opinions on abortion can change. The hearts must change first. That's true.
Yeah,
And Revelations 22:11.
Larry, look up Revelations 22:11.
That's been a while.
Larry, your
and,
laptop.
Actually,
You know,
the church
I-
I've been going to, my pastor passed away about about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And great pastor.
Okay.
So I've been hopping around between a couple different Lutheran churches, and there's one non-denominational one my kids love going to.
Okay.
And they're starting to go with their boyfriends independently now and
Right.
stuff. So I'm like, well, if you're going to church by yourselves, I can kind of go back to mine. And the pastor there, it's a City Impact. And the guy does great missionary work, great messaging. But he focuses on Revelations almost every single Sunday.
Dude, I can't do it. I'm like.
He has other messages too.
Okay.
But every single Sunday he'll deliver these great messages, and then it's
He-
like
and
he
then
has
hit
to
the
slip
Revelation-
in.
hit the
He
Revelation.
has to slip it in there. And
know-
they're a huge church, and he's not doing a bad
Yeah,
job. He's
yeah.
brought a lot
know,
of people to it. And I appreciate what he's doing. It's just all of his churches have become mega churches,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I still like the old-fashioned discipline of the old Lutheran Church.
Right.
So
and
I
there's
still-
a lot. We've had a couple shows where we've talked about a lot of young people that there's this huge movement back towards orthodoxy or towards more structured churches, and that's a
Yeah.
that's
So
a
it's
problem for the left, and it's also a problem for the more modern church that wanted to just do a concert on a Sunday, a rah concert on a Sunday
There's
morning.
a few of them that are doing it. And
That people are like, I need a little bit more structure. I want a little bit more orthodoxy. I want a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Larry's wife likes the hymns. She
The old
really
hymnals?
likes
She likes the classic hymns.
the classic
classical
hymns.
hymns.
Yeah.
And I like the modern
And
stuff.
there's
Well,
one,
you heard him playing Journey, so that's what he's into. He's like, if it
Yeah,
was a
can
Journey,
you play Journey in church? Don't Stop Believing. Doesn't that kind of work?
Don't stop.
yeah,
No,
Don't
that's it.
stop believing.
Don't stop believing. You want to grab your?
I can grab it.
I'm
I'm
going over
grabbing
here.
this one.
I'm going to go to me. I'm going to go to me. Go ahead. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know that we're going to be joined by the the 45th and the 47th president of the United States here
How's that
live
work?
on the show, and he's actually endorsing our
doesn't
guest
drink, so we
tonight.
gotta move this.
And so let's go ahead, Mr. President. Welcome to the show.
I'm going to tell you this. We're on a Don't Stop Believing. Just hang on to this loving
Larry,
feeling.
pay
Larry,
attention.
you got to play it. You got to play it right now. It's just a small town boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He's going to take the midnight train anywhere, going anywhere. We don't know. We just don't know. We don't know where it's going. We're going to love it very much. And I'm going to tell you, Tom Norton, he's a beautiful guy. I love him very much. He's a great guy, beautiful American. I hope he wins. He's going to be phenomenal, they tell me. One of the best. It's not just me saying it, a lot of people.
A lot of people are
A lot
saying
of
it.
people say it.
A lot of people,
Including Larry.
Including Larry. Mr. President, do you feel that his domestic policy and his true reforms are strong enough for the state of Michigan to bring it back to being a red state?
They're going to be the best reforms, beautiful reforms, absolutely beautiful. You're going to love them very much. A lot of people are going to love them. They're going to sit back and you're going to tell me, please stop. We don't want Michigan to win like this anymore. And you're going to beg me and you're going to beg him to stop making Michigan win. And that's what's going to happen.
Thank you, Mr. President, so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you so much. You didn't wait for me to switch cameras. That was awesome.
So Tom and I go way back. We've been friends for
Not as far
for
back
quite
as
a
him
long
and
time.
him and Trump.
It's
Him
going
and
to be
Trump.
the best, they say. Not just me saying it, a lot of people.
Go, Larry. You know what, Larry? I'm gonna.
He used to.
You know what? I'm gonna do like Friday open mic Fridays, open phone Fridays with Rush Limbaugh.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn. You're not quite rank, but I'm gonna turn it over to the amateur while I go take a piss. Larry, you're in charge of the show for the next, however long it takes me to alleviate myself. Go.
So actually, we go back a long way. You know, about 8 years,
Something like that.
something like that.
My Alzheimer's kicked in, though. so-
Your Alzheimer's is kicked in. Yeah. So you still playing around with trucks and stuff in your spare time? Because you had you had that Dodge truck sitting
Yeah,
back.
I actually got a little bit further on it. I got the cab on it, the front clip on it.
Nice.
I got the motor almost ready to go. I got to flip the motor on the Camaro yet.
Yeah.
And then today I was sitting there and went to work on a lawnmower, and as you know, already burnt my hand. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have a hobby, especially vehicles. I like, especially that Dodge truck. That was a crew cab, wasn't it?
That's a crew cab.
Crew cab. It was about a 77.
Nope, that is, well, it's almost like Johnny Cash's song, One Piece at a Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cab's off in 84, the front clip's off in 93, the bed's off in 82, and the frame's in 86.
Oh, there you go. So it's a little bit
The
of
motor's a
everything.
76, and the
Motor's-
transmission's a 76.
So did you put a 440 in there? Or?
Actually, a 446. It was emissions exempt 52-foot RV motor, so it has the extra cooling port. So it's pushing out probably about 420 horsepower.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why we're going to play the song I got it one piece at a time. But it
One-
cost me tons of dimes.
Yeah. Well, they do. I sold my Fox Spotty Mustangs. I got some stuff left to sell, and then I bought Jeep Wrangler.
Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, that
See,
I
now you got
put
more
it
money
together.
to donate to me.
There you go. There you go. And I'd have to sell my Triumph to do that. And I don't know if I want to do that yet.
I'd take $50 donations. I was thinking about getting on a poll in order to start getting dollar
Well,
bills.
speaking of donations, when Jeremy comes back, I did pull.
I'm
What are
hitting
you
up.
saying? When
I
I
did
come
pull,
home,
what
what do you mean I
I'm
never
thinking
left?
about- I'm thinking about getting a poll in order to
I
get
just
dollar
used my
bills for the
colostomy
campaign.
bag.
Yeah, there you go. So
My
can we
catheter.
cut to my computer, please?
No.
So right here, anybody can donate. You can go to Tom's website, which is
ThomasJNorton.com, they say.
yep,
Thomas J. Norton.
yep, and then
I'm not going to do it like Bill. I'm going to tell you it's ThomasJNorton.com.
And what you
He
can
doesn't
do-
have any interns.
it's
I like to do it like Phil Hartman doing Ed McMahon. Thomas J. Norton, yes. Yes, you are correct, sir.
I'm right-handed, so this is sucky.
Stop grabbing that with your broken hand. You're burnt
broken,
up.
it's just
You're-
third-degree
It's just
burns.
burnt up.
yeah.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
And the vehicles, though, yeah.
But you can on his website. Once you navigate to his website, you click on donate, and there's this nice little program here.
So
and
on the update of the website, that still works.
yes, yes.
Yeah, the donation still works.
Except once you go there, you can't navigate back out. So it's stuck on donate.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
All right, we got to get this shit fixed.
It's
I don't need you to navigate back from the donation
So-
part.
Yeah, donate and go away. Come back and donate another day.
Tom has got some nice endorsements, and here's one. This is a group called Veterans for a Better MI, and I know.
Do we know that group, Larry?
online,
It sounds
you
fishy
know,
to me.
I do
Did
know.
Are they
some
validated?
people- I do know some people that know him.
That's a lot younger back then.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that guy.
Yeah, that's before I
So,
was a sergeant.
he's endorsed by veterans in the state of Michigan.
Veterans for a Better
group
Michigan.
Yep.
Great group.
Veterans for a Better MI, which you can also donate to them. You can find that information on
Can you hear my ice, Larry?
Facebook, or it's right down here, at the bottom of the line.
I got Roger Stone.
Yeah, Roger Stone.
Roger
Get me
Stone?
Roger Stone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I keep bugging Trejo to
cut back.
make Roger get on, to do an interview with Roger. I love Roger.
He'd have to do it. He'd just do a Zoom.
He's been on this show once before.
Not Roger Stone.
Yeah. Did
No.
Roger Stone wasn't in the fundraiser for the?
Roger won't fly up here for the show. I don't
No, he
think.
won't fly up here, but I'm willing to do Zoom.
You did a fundraiser.
Did Roger do the fundraiser?
I thought so.
I'm
So
pretty
we
good
did
friends
we
with
did a
Roger,
fundraiser.
so-
Are you?
Yeah, I can probably
Dude.
message him later.
I love Roger Stone, and I'll tell you what. Since the more he's dove into being a believer,
Yeah.
going through his trials and all that stuff, and getting pardons,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like he's that much more. I love all of his stuff beforehand, working with InfoWars and everything like that. But then it's just like you go back in his history and how much he's done. He's just a true patriot. I love him.
He saved in my phone as Get Me Roger Stone because of the Netflix original.
Yes, dude, I love that series. But we did he show up on that one?
I thought he did. I thought he was on. We
The
did
whole
a fun.
show was about
so-
him.
Well,
we
no,
did a
we did
a fundraiser for the.
Electors. Falsely
We
accused.
raised how much? We raised
$250,000.
I think
Yeah.
It was
that's
more
what
than
that
$250,000.
Yeah, it was done out of the show. We had help from Shane Trejo.
Shane Trejo and
Gateway
Gateway Pundit and
Pundit. Yeah, there's
Mike
a-
Lindell was
Mike
involved.
Lindell was involved.
We did
There's
we did
bunch.
a 10+ hour telethon out of the studio here,
Yes.
down on the stage, and that was 3 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah,
So
it
it was even more rudimentary. Now I've got a lot of stuff going on. We didn't have the bathrooms then. We still had the outhouse.
Yeah, we still had it. Yep. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
So
bad.
now we got the bathrooms. We got the well and septic. That was a rigmarole.
Yeah.
But that's good. So, any more true reforms before we start to wrap up the night? Big Tom,
Big time. Well, we got the roads, we got CPS, we got that.
what are you going to do reform-wise? What are you going to do on Second Amendment, knowing that we have a bunch of red flag bullshit? Obviously, you've gone and done the legwork, the groundwork, going to these counties, creating sanctuary.
I'd like to bring
things,
back
but-
the Second Amendment, and I mentioned this to the state capitol.
Yeah.
Second Amendment days, bring it back and just override the governor's order and get it passed and get
Okay.
it done.
Do we want? There's a huge
I-
movement for the last
I-
10, 15 years to get us all back to constitutional carry
Yep.
dynamics.
Well, that's the other part is I hate to say this, I don't like the concept of a license for people to have a right to keep and bear arms. The other part I like to do is, with all the school shootings we have, if somebody has a CPL, I have no problem with a teacher carrying a weapon.
I
school.
want to offer
But-
each and
but-
every
but-
teacher the
Yeah,
now-
matter of fact, I think
Expand it so they can bring these CPLs in schools. Nothing says shoot this place up more than a gun-free zone.
yes.
And the
Larry
only
calls
thing,
I
those
call them human target areas.
human target areas.
well, it's just like the crime watch. Crime's going to go up there. We need to, on the Second Amendment front, we need to get rid of gun-free zones. And it's just like, it should say, this is armed. It's almost like putting up a sign in your house. I don't have any guns and the doors are unlocked. Come on in.
Right.
And I mean, that's a
It's
part of it
stupid.
doesn't make sense.
It's stupid. When you put up a sign that says enter at your own risk, generally people don't enter.
Well, my favorite one is like, this house is guarded by this with bullet holes.
Yes.
People don't tend to break into those houses.
100%. Well, what's one of our ones over here on the sign says it's 10 minutes for the responders. 911 is like an average on 10-minute responder, but a 357 Magnum travels at X point.
Yep. We need stand your ground laws.
100%.
Passed in Michigan, where
Well, that
they
was
break in, shoot them.
The former sheriff that we had on here was instrumental in help passing the Castle Doctrine.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
An armed society is a polite society.
Yep. You want to sit there and you want to find out how quick a society is free. Export the Second Amendment to every country on the planet.
100%.
They will sort their governments out quickly.
Immediately.
We wouldn't even be dealing with
It's-
Iran if they had the Second Amendment.
Most dictatorships and despotic governments, the first thing they do is seize the weapons.
Yeah.
That's their primary goal, is to seize the weapons. In fact, it got so bad in the Soviet Union where they were confiscating knives and forks.
One man with a gun can control 100 without one. London.
Well, and what was it? Hirohito, Japan. He said, "We dare not invade the continental United States, the homeland, because behind every blade of grass will be a gun."
Why did you want me to bring up Revelations 22?
Because Gypsy Magic pointed it out. I wanted to see what it was.
Oh, okay.
Why are you saying night fed? Bovie, you tune in the last 10 seconds of the show and you say night fed? Listen.
It's night fed.
You don't call out Gypsy Magic as a fed. Only we can do that on the show. But he did say, thank you, JSG, that's me, Larry P., and Tom Norton, and special guest Donald J. Trump. He said, everyone have a great weekend and evening, weeks ahead. Thank you. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you always, Gypsy Magic. And Bovie, what the fuck? You haven't even given me a super chat, so I don't even know why I'm reading your shit, dude.
Yeah.
What was the Revelation 22:11? New Jerusalem would come down?
22:11, is that what it is?
22:11.
Okay. Well, here, 22:11 is, let the evildoer still do evil, and the filthy shall be filthy, and the righteous still do right, and the holy still be holy.
Do what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Be faithful to it. If you're an evil person, be evil, because then, law of sowing and reaping will catch up with you. But when you're righteous, it'll eventually come around. And righteous to people, it's not perfect. Righteousness is really being in the state, actually the Greek word in the New Testament is the state or condition of him who is as he ought to be. Is as he ought to be. That doesn't mean I'm going to make every right decision. I can be the exact right person that I need to be and walk along a path and catch my foot on a root and trip. Does that mean I was unrighteous or that I was a bad person? No, I can get tripped up. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And making mistakes is part of that process. Sometimes we're stubborn. Sometimes the only way we learn the best lessons is by making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. Mm-hmm. We all want to learn from our best mistakes. Thank you, Bovie. $20 Lincoln Day dinner donation. Fuck you on your Lincoln Day donation. He's such a dick. Isn't he? Yeah. I love you. I'm not going to say your real name because I fucking love you, but I know exactly who you are. No, he's a good friend of the show. He's been in studio multiple times. He's done a lot of stuff. Yes. I won't reveal more than that, but you're fucking awesome. Listen, you need to hit the... dude, I know you're subscribed to the show. Turn that bell on and then go into your phone and make sure that the alerts are on there. He says, how do I know that there's even a show until I randomly get on Rumble? Don't randomly get on Rumble. Know that you should always check at 6 o'clock on a Sunday night for an interview. That's your fucking responsibility. So, any other true reforms that you're looking at that are on your radar? I mean, this is a great fucking list to start
That's
from.
about as much as I think I can get in a first term.
What's the Michigan Senate is? It's a 4-year term or is it 6
4-year terms, and it's 12 years total with the new term limits that they can do on it.
Yeah, but I like that.
Yeah,
because if you're truly a man of the people, you would want to be fostering. I don't want to say grooming because Larry doesn't like that. But you would be fostering the next person to, if term limits were, you serve 3 terms or 2 terms, right? Whatever it is, you'd be going, hey, you got a strong business. You have an aptitude for this. I'm getting to know you. Listen, I want you to run for at least 1 term. After my term is up, that's not cronyism. That's not that thing that's going, all right, you're going to come in and serve as a citizen representative of the people. You're going to do that versus these career fucking politicians that are in there. I love term limits. Yeah. But we have to have not quite a law of succession, but at least a dynamic to where the people are saying, I'm going to support you because you're true grassroots, whatever the fucking term that we want to use, that's a safe, whatever the safe word. Is there a safe word? I don't like that.
I don't know, but you said groomer, and now I can't stop thinking about.
Oh, fuck off,
Alyssa Slopcan.
Your name is not Norris. Fuck you. Bobby's such a dick. Dude, I love him. But no, it's this dynamic of, the reason I say it is because you had so many founding fathers that ended up serving in other offices.
Yeah.
Right? But they were all knew that they were citizen servants and representatives of the people and were ready to go back to their farms or their businesses when they were done serving. And a lot of them were reluctant to come back.
Yeah.
But either they saw a problem or they were compelled by their constituency to come back. And that's what I'm saying is you have some term limits, and when your term limits are done, you go, all right, did I do a good job? Did I honor the people? Did I empower my state or wherever, my county or wherever I was at? Okay, then I do have I carry some weight in endorsing the next person to take over. So I never saw term limits as a bad thing. I always saw it as a plus if the people do a good job and then can recommend their successor, or at least the ones that they would like to succeed them.
We've had it where a lot of people are really bad recommend their successors.
Oh, they're horrible. Trump has, as much as he came on the show, and I appreciate you, Mr. President, he's not had a great track record in some of his endorsements. There's been some endorsements that we go, did you just get an email on that? Because that guy's a fucking piece of shit. Some other ones have been good, but we know in our own governor's race, Tudor Dixon was not the best. She's a sweet lady, right?
Yeah.
She's got some good ideas. But Ryan Kelly or even
Kevin Rinke.
Kevin Rinke, either one of those should have been the next governor.
Kelly endorsed me too.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome. We need to get Ryan back on the
Ryan
show.
just made a local endorsement.
Well, Ryan's been
And
here for a
that'll
couple
be
of
announced
events.
in the next couple of days. I can't tell you who Ryan Kelly just endorsed.
I need you to get Ryan
but
back on
Ryan
the show.
Kelly just endorsed somebody.
I need you to get Ryan back on the show. Ryan's such a badass.
Yes.
But dude, no matter what happens in the race, and I'm praying that you prevail, and I'm not praying like some of the people we've discussed tonight.
You can always donate. You go
I'm
to the
like,
website, you can
exactly.
donate.
Exactly. Hey, this.
That's
this,
all I
dude,
asked for.
I want you to take the clips from this show and promote those out there. But it is a huge dynamic of this crony political establishment dynamic versus people who are grassroots, as you've touted multiple times tonight. Not being overly boastful, but just laying out your track record. You volunteered to go over here, and 48 sanctuary counties. That's half the state, roughly, right?
Yeah.
You've got, it's actually over half the state, right? If we do
It's almost
do the
exactly
math.
half.
91 or 96?
96.
96, exactly half. Yeah. Are you still working on some of that? Or you got some people that are working on
No,
that?
there's some other people working on it. It's not as big of a thing. Eventually, when the governor goes after the Second Amendment again, I guarantee it will get renewed.
Yeah.
You got to wait till it's hot.
Because people don't
They don't do
pay
anything
attention.
unless it's
Yeah.
unless the pan's getting hot.
Abortion's
they are gonna
hot
pop.
because we passed those 3 different items.
Yeah.
And people didn't pay attention, or they worded the language deceptively.
Yeah.
What's one or two final reforms that are on your radar, if any, before we close the show out tonight?
The only other thing is going to possibly be is basically I'd like to sit there and make sure that every single person in the state that comes out of the budget is worth the same amount of money during revenue sharing.
Okay.
I am tired of money being sent to different communities based upon that,
Right.
and actually having a balanced budget. And I'd like to cut down the state government drastically.
How do you look at Axe My Tax and some of those dynamics to get rid of property tax? And
They don't have revenue
income
sharing
tax?
to maintain police and fire, period. I want to get rid of property taxes, but there's only one way you're going to do it. A true fundamental tax reform.
Okay.
Eradicate the income tax return. Get rid of it.
Right.
Get rid of it at the state of Michigan.
Don't we have enough tourism in this state to where if we did it properly, we could fund this
We
state?
do, and that's my secondary part of that.
Yeah.
Once you get rid of the income tax return, what you have to do is you have to expand the sales tax to HBC and groceries, because Michigan's number 7 in tourism in the entire country.
Wow.
That tourism will offset the budget shortfall from there. Then
Right.
every person's worth the same amount of money. Kids 5 and younger, kids the money goes to, we use that for whatever.
Right.
And kids up to the age of 18, we use that for education. And then local government, state and counties, you do an actual revenue splitting based upon percentages that are already divided.
Right.
Because the state collects your property taxes. It goes to them first and then funnels back down.
Which is bullshit.
It's stupid.
Once it funnels up there, it gets muddied, it gets pulled into shit, and it's dumb.
No, sure came unbuttoned there. But
You've had that button undone since you put your clip on.
Did I?
You were going to tuck it into your shirt.
That's right,
and
I forgot.
I waved you off.
I completely forgot. Anyway, so
I've been staring at it all show.
okay. Anyway, so
I was closed.
Anyway, so and we sit there, we expand it to that, and the thing is, what that would do, then you could get rid of your property taxes and still maintain police, fire, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And I've had people like, oh, I don't want to pay taxes on my groceries. The average family spends 2 to 4. Let's say you have a family of 5 spending $4,000 a year on grocery and HBC.
Right.
4,000.
Right.
What
Get rid of their $6,000 property tax.
What is 6% of $4,000?
It's off the top of my head.
It's like $240 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
$240. But I got rid of their $6,000 property taxes. But they're like, I don't want to pay on HBC and groceries. It's like, no, we're actually cutting your tax burden by 37%.
You get rid of the income tax and the property tax, and you offset it with luxury taxes or income not
HBC
sales
and grocery tax.
Yeah.
Expand the sales tax to that. That's 7% of tourists.
I don't have a problem
will
with
come up here.
10 to 15%
You're
sales
going to
tax.
lower the tax burden on the average person in the state of Michigan by 37%.
100%.
37% tax alleviation.
And you don't have old couples that bought a house for $30,000 50 years ago that are now being threatened because their property tax values increase so much they can't pay their tax.
I brought this up to families when I'm knocking doors. Now, it might create some tweaking on the numbers outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done the math with them at the doors. Every single family's like, oh, I don't know if I like that. It's like, how much you pay in property taxes? And they'll tell me the number. How much you spend in groceries in a year? And then they'll tell me. It's like, now, how much is that in groceries? And they do the math. They're like, you just cut my taxes by $980 a year.
Even if we go from
the moment they do that math, they're like, I'll pay taxes on groceries.
Even if we doubled the sales tax from 6 to 12%, you're still net positive by thousands of dollars, or at least hundreds.
Now, if we sit there and let's say we did a super duper reform. We reformed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you went to, if we went to a 7% sales tax, the flat tax on income, we could get rid of almost all of the federal money that's allotted.
Right.
And tell the federal government to go shove it up their ass.
Well, that's one of the things we need to do is stop sending our money to the Fed to have them funnel it and launder it and then bring it back to us.
So on the access
keep it
tax,
in-house.
Carla Wagner has, love her, hate her, I don't give a crap how you feel about Carla
We've had her
Wagner.
on the show.
I don't care how you feel about her. At the end of the day, is her plan perfect? No. But she started a conversation
And I
that
love
needed
it.
to occur.
And she's a great lady. Axe My Tax is phenomenal.
Yeah, there's holes in her plan, but they're not unfixable holes or unreasonable holes. And I mean,
as you said, it started the conversation.
But we can shift these things to provide and maintain services for local government, schools, education.
Yeah.
And then you expand it to where local governments can do an income or sales tax locally.
And isn't that, there's like 3 or 4 things that are the big touted things. Education, the roads, there's a couple of the things that are.
Make sure you're not a strip of nuts.
I'm gonna mute you while you're playing with your microphone. There you go. But there's a few things that they always talk. Well, we got to pay for the schools. That's why property tax. That's the number one thing. And then we got to pay for the roads, which are shit, right? Schools, where are we performing at? You know, horribly low.
That's full school choice.
Yeah, it's like it's full school choice. And I'm a advocate of this. I don't know how we get it out there, but I've said it for a number of years. I'm like, go back to the one-room schoolhouse. We got subdivisions throughout a lot of the urban areas, right? You put in a one-room schoolhouse there, have the kids there. You eliminate this classism because the older students are going to help the younger students, and then the younger students, and you got a teacher and a couple overseers that are volunteering or not volunteering. They're going to get paid, but they're part of the community. And then you have kids that come in, not quite a homeschool dynamic, but close to it, and then keep the main high school open for collegiate sports, for band, for drama, for all these other things where they can come together and they can do these things. But let's take this 8 hours where these kids have to be sitting in a classroom and let's eliminate that bullshit, because any homeschooler will tell you that they can teach their kids in about an hour a day, 5 days a week. They can teach them everything, and they'll have them at a college level by ninth grade age, and blow out anybody in high school and have them at a reading. They'll be reading, they'll be doing, and we remove the DEI, we remove all the other bullshit from that. That's one of my things. It's like, let's get rid of these centralized schools, because centralized government, centralized school, anything centralized becomes bullshit. Let's bring it back to having these. I drive by these subdivisions. I'm like, dude, open up your clubhouse and have a one-room school house, right? You have parents that have this degree or that degree that work in these industries. They can come and volunteer or volunteer once a week and teach an hour these kids, and then they're out gardening, they're out doing this, they're doing sports and activities, they're doing band, they're doing drama, they're doing arts and crafts, they're doing photography, they're doing all of these things that these kids will actually be inspired by, that they can live by. All three of my kids dropped out of school. My son's a head welder. My daughter can make a phone call and get any job, but she's choosing to be a homemaker right now. She's phenomenal. My son's running the job site down there. All three of them they came to us as parents, and they're like, "This is bullshit." I'm like, "You want to drop out and do your life? Do your life." My son's he sends me pictures of his fucking welds, or videos. I'm like, he's a badass. Did he need that public education to get him through? No, he needs a skill.
And that's where we need to go towards trade schools too.
100%. And in Germany years ago, they would do it. You went to 8th grade, and then you diversified and went to a trade school because you already knew your aptitude. But our kids have been made so immature that they're 35 years old living in their parents' house and don't know what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
We haven't prepared them for life. We used to do bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, or quinceañera or something like that at the age of 13 for boys and girls. They were graduating into the community. You're 13, you're gonna step up now, right? By the time they're 15, 16, 17, most people don't know or don't remember Mary was 15, pregnant with Jesus, gave birth at 16. Oh my God. Yeah. Not because she was special, but because people are capable. Do we want to foist that on our kids? No. But we've retarded their natural ability to accept responsibility. In retarding their natural ability, at 35, they're fucking retarded. They're playing fucking Call of Duty, but can't get a job to save their fucking life. You know? And the economy works against them, but the reality is they need to step up and be responsible. And we're not creating those environments. When you're at a one-room schoolhouse, the older kids are teaching those younger kids, or at least tutor them, standing next to them, doing things like that. And then they learn, all right, I just helped that kid. Now there's no classism. Now we're all working together.
What was interesting was I was in the Chamber of Commerce meeting the other day, and they had never heard, everybody sat there, they asked about reading skills. Okay. And one of the people, when I was walking out, told me they'd never heard anybody take this approach, and they're in almost 20 years, some of them listening. In the Chamber of Commerce. I sat there and I told them, what we need to do is no longer pass somebody if they're not reading if they're at third grade level,
right,
and they can't read at a third grade level, we need to require them to go to summer school. And then the other kids that are going to summer school that are there for math or science but can read,
they need help.
We have them tutor these kids.
That's
because
fucking
now
awesome.
they no longer feel like they're stupid.
Right.
Now
they're empowered.
Yeah, they're empowered with where they're strong at.
Yeah.
And we have these kids that are struggling in these other subjects that are there for that summer school.
Yeah.
Be the cross tutor in their strong subjects. And
That's
we make them all feel like that they can actually advance themselves and move forward. And we give them a little bit extra credit to do that. And we have them do the same thing for these kids at the younger reading level, these high schoolers.
Right.
We take the summer schools and we take the failures and we turn them into a success. One, it's going to cost us less money than just throwing money at the problem.
Correct.
It's going to encourage all of them to advance, and they're going to stop feeling stupid.
Exactly.
If we're going to fix society, we got to start to fix it with common sense.
My middle son was failing all of his classes, 10th grade. He's failing all of his classes, right? And he's only, he was actually, whatever he was. So the tests were 30% of your grade and the homework was 60%, so he was failing his classes. And they accused him of cheating. They said, your son's got to be cheating. He passes the tests 100%, 98%, 96%, but right up there, high 90s, if not 100%. But he doesn't do any homework. They put him in detention for 2 weeks. He caught up a semester and a half of homework in detention. And then he turned to me and he says, Dad, I'm ready. I don't want to do this. I want to get on. I go, okay, we'll do it. So they made us do an exit interview for him. And I looked right at him. I said, he proved you in 2 weeks he could catch off all your homework. I said, your homework's bullshit. He passes all of your tests. You accuse him of cheating. You put him in a room. He did the test in front of you and got 97%. And you still looked at him cross-eyed.
Yeah.
I said, he's smarter than you, and you should have put him in accelerated classes, but instead you tried to accuse him of being a cheat. My son didn't cheat. He may have some flaws, but he didn't cheat. Mm-hmm. He retained all of this, and he's thinking about all the other shit that he's got because his mind's going all over. He's so intelligent, he's thinking about this. And you chose to accuse him instead of I had teachers when I was in school back in the 80s that actually did that. Where they go, okay, we see what this is. But I had other teachers that were shitty because I wasn't part of the sports program or this or whatever, that they were like, we went on vacation. Come back from vacation, turned in my math homework, and my math teacher graded it, gave me a C-, threw it in the trash can, didn't give it back to me. He didn't know while I was on vacation that we were vacationing with my mom's friend who was a top engineer at Bell Helicopter who helped me do all of my algebra. Mm-hmm. So I guarantee you all of my algebra was fucking perfect. And he shit-canned it because I wasn't part of the basketball program because I was a short guy. And my mom went in there and blew a fucking gasket. The next year I was enrolled in the private school.
Yeah.
You know? Because this guy played fucking politics and bullshit. And I'm like, you're a dick. I had a literal helicopter engineer help me do my fucking 9th grade homework that you sent on vacation, and he bitched about it. Why can't you take your vacation when everybody else takes spring break? I'm like, because we have an opportunity to go to Arizona with my mom's friend right now, and that's what we're doing. That's the type of bullshit that goes on in these bigger political schools. You know, it's like, dude, come on. You know, and I watch at the same time. I watch these. I play hockey, so I watch all of these kids come in to the hockey rinks. These are privately owned hockey rinks, but the school contracts with them to pay for ice time, pay for this, do all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Pay the fees. Well, why do we need the big public school to do that?
Yeah.
Let's have the parents and that's another thing that eliminates it. Again, they tout it to go, we need your property taxes to support the schools.
Yeah.
Well, they've proven through statistical analysis that they're not doing the job. Not quite failing, but holy shit. Not making us the number one with the amount of liberties and prosperity we have in this country or have had in this country. We should be number one in everything across the board and showing the rest of the world what it looks like to succeed and be prosperous. Mm-hmm. And instead, we're the bottom and we're fucking way down in healthcare, we're way down in education, we're way down in civic. Half these kids can't tell you what their own state looks like on a fucking map. And you graduated? Mm-hmm. You know? These man on the street interviews where they're clueless.
Oh, like the Gays of Hormuz versus the Straits of Hormuz?
Dude. How about we got the gays, the homosexuals fighting for a bunch of these Middle Eastern countries, right? I'm like, if you were over there, they would throw you off the top of a building and not think twice about it.
It's funny, it was when I was president.
Throw you down.
When I was president of the America First Pact, I actually offered to pay airline tickets, one-way tickets, straight to Palestine if they would do their banners there. And nobody ever called us and took it up on it. Nobody called us. We offered. We were serious. We set aside some of the money.
Yeah.
They never took the ticket. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't.
They didn't take up on that offer?
I mean, I don't understand why Gays for Palestine didn't want to fly to Palestine with their sign in.
Because they get thrown off a fucking building.
No, those are peace loving.
Listen.
Are you saying that they know they're hypocrites?
Yes.
Okay.
The Muslims over there, it's only if you rape under prepubescent boys is that allowed. That's the only grooming they allow. Dale finally says, yeah, sure, remind him to say howdy. Yeah, Dale, you fucking say howdy at the beginning of the show. What the fuck's wrong with you? John Bovey's saying he's never seen me play hockey. Bovey, I have beaten... No, I probably lost to your team because the team I was on sucked. So, you know, he says, oh, so you don't want to pay for a giant, quote-unquote, community center? The high school football dome for Howell? No, I don't want to fucking pay for that. You know what? If it warrants it, just like a collegiate team or something like that, you know what? I don't remember paying a dime over here for this college, for the base... So, true believer, Tel Aviv is the gayest city in the East. We wouldn't have another. Yeah. That's true. But these are some of the dynamics. Anything else before we wrap up and get final thoughts?
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. No.
Tom, this has been a great thing. Larry, I'm going to give you first final thoughts, even though I enter that pool at my own risk, and I'm probably going to put a floaty on.
Well, I think. Wait a minute.
I'm going
There we go.
There we go. Go here.
Well, I think everybody in the
Get a pen.
in the 33rd district needs to get out on August 4th and vote for Tom Norton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Great interview.
yes.
Love
He's
it.
by far the best candidate running. He has the best plan for the state of Michigan. He's a veteran, so he fought for the country when it counted. And
We didn't even dive into your service record. What a bunch of dicks.
I was in Afghanistan. It was hot, desolate, a lot of beach sand, no water.
Infantry.
Yep.
Infantry. Well, you said something about your hat. So explain that real quick.
This it says 11 Bravo. This means infantry.
Yeah. But you said it's only how many? What's the percentage?
It's 7% of the United States armed services were infantry, be them Marines or Army.
What's
And you
the
said you
12
did
Bravo?
What?
What's a 12 Bravo?
I think there's more 12 Bravo than there is.
Yeah. 12 Bravo is a combat engineer. Do you know any of those?
I know one. But he's
know
kind of
one?
arrogant about it.
Well, actually, my
I think there's
official...
more engineers than there are infantry.
Actually, my official MOS, if you look at my DD-214, is 64 Charlie 10.
Yeah.
Truck driver.
The sky is
But
blue.
what happens when
The
top...
sky is blue because God loves the infantry.
Yes. So what happens? What happens when the first sergeant pulls you in the office and he says, "Hey, our demolitions guy is retiring, and you're replacing him."
Okay.
Does it matter that you're a truck driver when
No,
when
you're
Top
gonna
says
start
that?
doing that. Start doing that. One thing I do know: every sergeant major in
Yeah.
every branch of the military, you got to stay off their grass.
Yeah.
Get off my fucking lawn.
Yes.
But you served 2 years enlisted and then 4 years.
I was in the guard.
Guard for 4 years?
Guard. So altogether between
6 years.
all 08 to 14 altogether on there. But yeah.
And you're extremely entrenched in local.
As a founding member of the
local
West
veterans.
Michigan Veterans Ranch, I was a co-founding member of that.
Where's what's that? I didn't even hear
It's
about that.
West Michigan Veterans Ranch.
Yeah.
We used to focus on spiritual healing for veterans. That was a suicide prevention that I used to do.
Dude,
And so
we're
they're
gonna coordinate off the show.
they're right in Newaygo County, so
Okay.
right in the 33rd Senate District. American Legion Post Commander for.
So
2
you're
years.
actually doing what you say.
Well,
You're not just sitting back. praying about
I
it?
quit. I quit doing the West Michigan Veterans Ranch. about 3 years ago. Is when I really quit
Well,
doing.
you
it. I still
spearheaded
talk. I
this
still
stuff.
talk to him.
Yeah.
And Dean, it was Dean's idea. It was Dean's. The guy's name is Dean Cantor. It was his granddad's farm, and then they had lost it. He had an opportunity to buy it back.
Okay.
He bought it back, and then that's what he really
Did
dedicated
you lose it through
to.
property through?
You should-
the-
Some of the and so they got it back. He ended up being able to get it back, and that's the West Michigan Veterans Ranch is basically in a trust now that funds that. It has little cabins on it. And,
Okay.
yeah, they focus on
Let's
spiritual healing
between
for
you and
veterans.
Larry, let's set that up and get him on here with you.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's do a whole show on that after the primaries here.
Yeah.
And things we figure, sort that out.
Oh,
He can
Dean
come
will
back
come
whenever
in
he
and do
wants. All he has to do is
Yeah,
call me,
no, yeah,
and
dude,
I'll
you're-
kick anyone I want off the show and put him on.
Doors wide open. Doors wide open.
So Tuesday night is our Lincoln Day dinner. If you want to attend, everybody's
I'm
going to
going to
be
be door
there.
knocking.
Yeah, well,
Dude,
that's
there was already a $20 donation for the Lincoln Day dinner.
Lincoln Day dinner. That's
I'm
right.
going to give you.
I just want
how much
donations to
coins do I
Tom
gotta-
Norton for state senate.
I'm going to give you 3 cents of that Lincoln Day dinner, Larry.
Processing fee.
Your final thoughts tonight, Tom. It's been an absolute pleasure. But your final thoughts, and I need your signature. Pick a good color here. It's the only time we tout the rainbow is the colors
This is
here.
going to hurt.
Oh yeah, you got to sign with your jacked up fingers.
Your burned finger.
Give me that.
Give it here.
I got it. Hang on.
Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna
He's
sign it
got
like
quite
a
a
lefty.
blister on his finger.
Yeah. 3rd-degree burns.
You're not supposed to touch the deck of the mower when the bearings
I did
are
not
bearings
know
are frying,
that
dude.
bearing was gone. I did not know.
And it wasn't blistering the paint or anything.
Well, I hurt when I did it.
Well, I know, but it wasn't
It hurts
blistering the
now.
paint. Yeah. Give me your final
So
thoughts, my friend. You've had a great show tonight. Several F-bombs. I don't know if you actually earned the metal F-bomb. I think
don't
it was a
think
little
so.
restrained.
Now,
Yeah.
maybe if I started singing I Have No More Fucks to Give, I could pull that off.
That's true. That is a great song.
We could pull that off on there. But anyway.
I have no more fucks to
Did you hear, by the way,
give.
by the way, speaking of singers, did you hear David Allan Coe died?
I did. I saw that. I saw that post.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's why we can sing the song. We call him No Show James.
Yes.
you know what?
I once tried to get a David Allan Coe song sung in
But, yeah, so-
karaoke, and he made me shut it off.
You know what? I'm not a huge country guy, even though two of my guys in my band now are
Yeah.
country guys. But I'll tell you what, I've always loved The Ride. David Allan Coe, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a
I like the
great
Skeeter
fucking-
song.
What's the fuck's that, Country Boy?
Yeah.
Country,
Country
Boy
Boy
Can't
Can't
Survive.
Survive.
Is that's David Allan Coe?
No.
No.
That's St. Louis Jr.
What's yours?
Oh, the Skeeter song. You remember the one that you kicked off on? You made
Don't
me
put
turn
me
it
into
off
it.
on.
Don't put me into it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, he had a karaoke party, and I was gonna do
And
the
you want to do
Skeeter
Skeeter
song.
and My Peter and knock it off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wrong. He's so
I'll just
fucking.
leave you all with I'm My Own Grandpa song. Pull that up on YouTube.
Dude, that's a
listen to it.
great song. I'm my own grandpa. Dude, that's fucking great. Your final thoughts. You've already signed my paper. Tom, you're running for the 33rd
33rd State
District
Senate.
State Senate. You got 3 other opponents, which don't seem to be a threat given our conversation tonight. 'Cause,
Well, the advantage I have running for Congress, I actually won that district 56% against the incumbent congressman, but
Right.
I lost overall because of the rest of the district.
yeah.
So, and it's an 85% district overlap.
What do you think?
So it seems
What do you think
benefit.
about this latest Supreme Court ruling in Virginia, in particular, about the gerrymandering of these districts based on racial? Wouldn't you like to have just a more?
You need to draw a district.
Yeah.
And as the Babylons B said, the states are very depressed over having to make districts that look like triangles and squares.
I know. Dude, it's like, wait a minute, why the fuck is this come up
They
over
pick
here?
their voters. It's the same as people moving to pick their voters.
Yeah.
They pick their voters. And the thing is, I do not believe, this will be my best final thought, I guess. I do not believe you can represent people unless you know them, unless you came from it.
Right, right.
That we have way too many representatives in Lansing and
Yeah.
in Washington, D.C. that don't know jack shit about their district. They couldn't tell
100%.
you who lives around the corner,
Yep.
who farmed there, the
Right.
property.
They're
who's
not doing
buried
coffee
there.
talks on
They
a
don't-
Monday
they-
morning with their constituency. They're not hanging out. knocking doors.
People don't show up to events anymore. The only
No.
way you're going to do it is good old fashioned door knocking.
Door knocking, yeah.
And then they'll come. And
100%.
what's interesting, when I'm knocking doors, half of them know who I am, which is interesting. About half.
Awesome. That's
It's-
awesome.
I actually quit asking for yard sign locations because like every third door is like,
They already
Tom,
got a
you got a
yard
yard sign?
Yeah.
And they're asking me. I've never had that in any race I've ever ran. So it's interesting to watch and listen to these people. So, you know, everybody else will probably try to blow money. I'll blow a little bit of money on it, but I'm just going to keep on acting like I'm at 5%, knock the living crap out of doors, and There's been some surveys where I'm in extremely good shape, and
I'm amazed, having known Larry, now getting to know you, but I'm amazed getting into the political dynamic about 4 years ago, how much money is spent on
shitty representation.
just print media. That, dude, I've put so much stuff in my fireplace, printed out fucking little, the what are those called?
Palm cards.
Palm cards. I'm like, the race is over. They withdrew. They did this. I'm like, you spent thousands of dollars on this print media. That's the dynamic. I've done it. I've done it in the past. Okay. I didn't do it the second round, but the first time that Wolford ran, Jason Wolford, I knocked doors for him. I went out a full day, sweating my ass off, knocked doors for him. Second time around, I supported Christina Like. Wolford won. We appreciate what Jason's doing in there in the representative side in the legislature. Christina Like's now running for judge.
44th Circuit Court Judge.
44th Circuit Court Judge. She has our full endorsement here at the podcast, and of course, Veterans for Better MI or
Yes,
Better.
yeah,
What the
that's
fuck
right.
is your thing?
It's Veterans for a Better MI.
Yeah, I said it right. Okay, but knocking doors and having over half
It's impressive. It's weird.
is very impressive.
It's weird.
And so we wish you all the best. Was that your final?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do mine. You guys went with red and green, Larry. What the fuck's the green? Is that what the first one you grabbed?
Yeah.
Green's
Oh,
fine.
it's
I always
great.
don't. Well, I mean, I
Here's
signed
red.
in
It
red.
It wasn't fucking
That's
pink.
I always sign in red. Is there anything that you
I'd
wanna
like to do
talk
the
about
Donald Trump.
before we sign off?
I don't have.
That was a
really
final
anything
thought,
else.
Larry. What the
Donate
fuck
to the
part of final
website at
thoughts?
thomasjnorton.com.
There you go.
Donate-
Donate to
donate-
the
I asked a couple
website.
times.
And what's the
thomasjnorton.com.
donations? Give a typical, because you're looking at. It puts some gas in the vehicles. It helps with some volunteers to buy them some lunch, buy them
Yep.
some dinner,
Actually,
stuff like that.
the last thing we're really working on is trying to put together the last 12 grand for the full mailer campaign. I paid for the digital personally, the yard signs personally,
Okay.
text messages personally.
What do you do aside from campaigning and stuff like what business wise?
I'm an operations manager for a very large home improvement company for West Michigan.
Okay. So
And
you're
I have the best retirement job on the planet.
right. So you're doing this for love of state
Yeah,
and country. This is not because you don't have.
They pay me a significant amount of money,
Yeah.
but I had to bust my ass to get there.
But and that's a dynamic. There's a lot. We've had a lot of, not on this show because Larry likes to vet them very well and he does a good job at it. We've had some candidates that a lot of candidates out there. Let me say it that way. A lot of candidates out there, even on the Republican side, or especially on the, they're making a living off of this campaign dynamic. They're
Yeah.
grifting,
Yeah.
They're not running because they could take it or leave it, and they really want to make an impact. They're doing it because this is their bread and butter. I hate that just as much as the hypocrite dynamic of it, of not full disclosure and telling people, yeah, I've had a divorce, a DUI, fuck you. It's like, that's my life. I've learned from it, I grow from it, and I had to make a decision.
Well, who has led a perfect life? Oh,
No,
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yes.
And you
but
know what?
he's not running.
But
I
even
think if
Jesus,
if
they
Jesus ran,
murdered.
I might have a problem with him.
Yeah, but Jesus lived a perfect life, and they still murdered him.
Yes.
So you can live a perfect life and still be murdered, or you can live the best life, purpose-filled life, make some mistakes along the way, and do the best that you can do.
The important thing
I don't
is
wanna
that you
hear-
learn from your mistakes. And he's
don't
learned.
Yeah, you learn it from it. And I don't want to stand there one day and have the Lord go, "Oh, you were perfect." I want him to have him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant."
There's an old Bible verse
Mm-hmm.
that some people sit there and like to use, and I don't think they understand it. Judge not yet, be judged.
Yeah.
And what does that actually mean? It means that you're going to be judged by the standards in which you set for yourself. I believe when you stand before God, if you believe you were perfect, then He's going to judge you
He's gonna
off
go,
your
okay.
standard.
Okay.
That's what that Bible verse means.
I'm
It
so
doesn't say
far
don't
from
judge
perfect, I don't
anybody.
have to
Anybody who
worry
sits there
about
and
that
thinks, it means don't judge. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It sits there and says,
You're supposed to
what is
judge
the
with the-
standard in which
yeah.
you are setting for yourself, and that shall be the
Correct.
standards in which you are judged when you stand before me.
Doesn't it
And I
say-
don't know if you're going to be judged by Jesus, St. Peter, or Chuck Norris, because it just depends.
Holy shit! Is Chuck Norris going to do it now?
Sorry, I had to crack some joke.
Dude,
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
doesn't
He's
it-
the only one that was able to slam a revolving door.
After what he just read, doesn't it say, but to judge with a righteous judgment?
Yeah, not only that,
I mean, we're supposed to make judgments.
100%. Well, Paul said.
That's why I said it's to your
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah, Paul said it. Wrote it in I believe it was Corinthians. He said the spiritual man makes judgments about all things, yet he himself is not subject to any man's judgment. And he's talking about the dynamic of being spiritual, listening to the ether, listening to the atmosphere. You're gonna make discernment and judgment about all things, but then you're not gonna let a natural man who's driven by impulses and fleshly drives judge you from that standpoint of that animalistic instinct. You're going to make judgments from a spiritual dynamic. You have to make those judgments from a spiritual dynamic, but you're not going to be subjected to earthly instinctual. And we look at a lot of our politicians, dude, they're a good portion of them, like Hollywood, are pedophiles. A good portion of them are philanderers and fucking either homosexual or doing affairs. You've got all this stuff where they're driven by their beastly impulses. They're not righteous people from that dynamic. We can all make mistakes.
I'm not going to mention any names on this one. I know we're way the heck over, but I do the cigar caucus.
Okay.
I helped set up the conservative cigar caucus too in Kent County. We've got Doug Lloyd there, a bunch of politicians.
Okay.
The other night, last week, these guys were joking with me like, "You've never been in Omar's in Lansing." No, I haven't. He goes, "Why?" It's like, "I got a couple rules. You don't shit where you eat, and you don't piss in your cocaine." And you just sit there, and they're like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "At the end of the day,
Dude,
you don't go there." And they're like, "Well,
I don't want to be on a first name basis with Sapphire.
Well,
and a
what's
few of the other girls.
interesting about it, a couple of these guys, they're like, "Well, yeah, a lot of the state representatives that are having affairs with each other, you can go through this bar here and go in behind Omar's and they'll swing around the back so they don't know where they're going at." So these righteous people
Yeah.
that are
Bunch of
sitting there-
fucking hypocrites.
Yeah, they are. And I'm tired of it. And
Yeah.
those guys sit there, and that's why I told those guys are like, "Why would you never go in there?" It's like,
Because I don't
because
want to.
the hell, I have no need to.
Exactly.
It's just like, there's not a need to go in there. I was like, I do cigars and drink.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't need to do that.
I used to have buddies that would say, "Oh, it's all right to look at the menu as long as you don't order anything." I go, "I got good home cooking. Why the fuck would I even look at the menu?" You know?
Well,
Because that was their justification. They're like, "It's okay. You
It's
go in
like,
there and
it's,
look at the menu."
it's like what we learned with Neil Frisky. Pay the prostitute. And how
We don't want to have the Manugian mansion, right?
he was a pinnacle of the religious right.
Right.
Pinnacle.
I've met some ministers in my day that they do revival services and then head straight to the strip club. I'm like, you just led 15 people to Christ
No.
and prophesied over 4 of them, and then you walk out and you hit the strip club.
Well, the funny thing is, if you go to a
I
strip
go-
club, I don't care if you go, but it's the hypocrisy of
To
it.
act like you don't.
Yeah,
To act like you don't.
yeah.
And to be
I was
fair,
in the military.
Yeah.
For me to say I've never
Good.
been in a strip club would
Right.
be lying through my fucking teeth. But,
right, exactly.
But that's where these guys were shot.
Larry?
But that's where the interesting thing is. I've never been in a place like Omar's because if you're in politics, why the hell are you walking in there when you're in Lansing on a taxpayer's
dude.
dime? They're doing it on the taxpayer's dime.
Are they getting a receipt and writing it off?
You remember Representative Jones? You might not remember him. There's Representative Jones over in Detroit.
Okay.
And he sat there and he wrote off receipts for Omar's. And when they took him down, because he sat there and got drunk, ran off the side of the road, and then decided to bang his prostitute after driving off the road, look up State Rep Jones. It's a real thing. He's a Democrat. You cover an entire show on this guy. And he sat there and he even stated, "Oh, yeah, all of us go in there and we'll do shit like that." And what they'll do is they'll run their cards out on other stuff, is what they do. They're doing it on the dime. That's why they want to endorse each other and back each other. They're a bunch of hypocrites and crooks.
Right. And they want to protect each other. Was that Tennessee?
No,
Michigan.
Michigan.
Right there?
Yeah.
Is that a good one, though? It says child molester.
Wrong guy.
Wrong guy.
Nope, that's the wrong one. It's Michigan. Actually, just scroll up, and what you type on here is like type in, just highlight, oh, you're using DuckDuckGo, so you're going to have to search it differently. So you got to search this thing as just put in state representative,
Okay.
Michigan.
Oh, okay. I'll do.
Put Michigan State Rep.
Michigan.
There you go.
Oh shit.
There
Joel
you go.
Jones.
There it is. There it is.
This guy.
Do I want to go to Wikipedia or
Right
do I
here.
want to go to?
Yeah, you just click it. It's all good.
Okay.
Anyway, so this guy, when I was an ops NCO in the Guard, when we went to deploy in 2012.
Jewel Jones.
This
Jones.
guy cried to get out of the deployment.
Is an American politician from the state of Michigan. He served in the city council of Inkster. And was elected 11th district as younger. Let's see. We don't want to go to his early life. We want to go to where he fucked up. Legal issues. In 2018. Wait. What's the voice I got to read this in, Larry?
Oh,
Do I gotta read it?
Yeah, you gotta
read a ghetto?
that in. Let me see.
I want to go opposite of because ghetto would be the right way to read it.
Yeah, no.
That would be too on the nose. What do you want me to do?
I want you to do that.
I shall do southern. Southern accent.
Southern
All right,
accent.
all right. In 2018, Jones was pulled over for speeding, window tint, and having a destructed license plate. License plate was covered. That's what it means, y'all. It was covered up. So he initially was cited for misdemeanor driving with open intoxication. That means he had beer or some kind of thing sitting there. Although officers stated that Jones and all of his passengers were sober. I don't know how you're sober with open intox there, sweetheart. That was charged with dismissal. But on April 2021, Jones, then age 25, was arrested after his Chevy Tahoe, is that how we say it here in this? Tahoe rolled into a ditch on I-69 Handy Township. According to prosecutors and several other motorists, they reported reckless driving. Paramedics who arrived first observed a woman with her pants down, Jones with his pants partially down.
You thought I was lying at first.
Police subdued Jones with a taser and pepper spray because he was getting it on. According to prosecutors, Jones had a blood alcohol level of at least 0.17, and he was banging the fuck out of that hard he was with. Oh, that's not in there. And had a Glock handgun in the cup holder, because you got to have a firearm when you're releasing your load. So during the arrest, Jones told officers that he would call Governor Gretchen Whitmer and warn the officers that he runs the state budget. Jones' attorney denied that he resisted arrest and said that his statement regarding the governor and the budget was an attempt to stop the officers from using excessive force because he's black. Authorities charged him with resisting arrest and obstructing a police officer, drunken driving offense, possession of a weapon under the influence of alcohol, and fucking a prostitute on the side of the road after a crash. Wait,
I didn't say that.
That second one was not official. That last one was not an official thing. After his arraignment, Jones was found to have attempted to smuggle handcuff keys up his ass, and the key was attached to the bottom of his foot with clear tape. Jones was stripped of his committee assignment, surprise, surprise, and removed from his volunteer auxiliary role with the Inkster Police Department. Later, let's see this, in March of 2022, Jones pleaded guilty to 2 felonies and several misdemeanors in connection with him fucking a prostitute on the side of the road after he rolled over fucking drunk off his ass. A probation violation led to him spending another 60 days in Livingston County, right here, constitutional Livingston County.
I remember when all this happened.
Holy shit. In June 2022, Jones pleaded guilty to violating the terms of his probation by drinking alcohol. He apologized. I'm so sorry. And he's sentenced to 30 days in jail, but was permitted to then go and fuck another prostitute.
Here's the kicker part. What
Wait,
they don't
That's not in there either.
What they don't have in here is when it was the budget part, when he wrote off the strip club that these state reps go to, and he got
wrote it
caught.
off.
Wrote it off off taxpayers' dime. There's other state reps that have done this.
Holy
Republicans
shit.
do this too. And he sat there when he was caught. His exact comment was, "A player's got to play."
That's why he's 25 and fucking no longer in politics. What is he doing now?
Yeah, I remember when all that happened. I just thought, it's a good thing there wasn't any water around, or he'd have Kennedy'd that girl.
But he wouldn't have been able to. Dude, who rolls Dude, come on.
Who rolls a Tahoe?
Who rolls a Tahoe, a Tahoe, Chevy Tahoe, and then proceeds to go, we got a little time for the police and the ambulance arrive. Let me go ahead and fuck you on the side of the road. Are you serious?
Most memorable podcast you'll ever have right now.
Dude, the literal balls on this guy. Just go. I think we should still have our session.
Not
our fucking session.
a picture I want in my head. So just saying.
There, now I ended the show on a high note.
Holy shit. Dale says, what a piece, he's a piece of shit, and I'm from Inkster. I worked in Inkster for 10 years. Oh, fuck. Dude. Hey, with that, you crazy fuckers, thank you for tuning in, all the chat. John Bovey, thank you for your $20 chat. I will not be giving it to Lincoln Day dinner. Fuck you. Thank you so much, Tom, for being on the show with us tonight. You got to come back. We'll see how the... Wait, primaries are August
4th.
August 4th.
Fuck, we're 3rd May.
What's August 4th?
Dude, you got to come back like 3 or 4 times before then.
August 4th.
Depends how many people donate.
Isn't that somebody's,
Dude, we're gonna pump it up.
birthday? August 4th? That's somebody's birthday.
It's a Tuesday.
Is that yours?
It is.
August 4th, your birthday? Yeah. Happy birthday, Larry. I hope everybody's...
Yeah, for August 4th, I want this guy, for my birthday, I want this guy to win the primary, and I want
Fucking right.
Christina Like to win the primary for
Fucking right.
You gotta like somebody.
judge. Yeah. You know Christina, don't you?
I think it mattered.
Yeah. They're awesome. I texted them both today, and it was...
And the
my
Lincoln
daughter
Day
asked-
dinner is Tuesday, and everybody is going to be there. So there's all the governor candidates, the Secretary of State candidate.
Gubernatorial?
Yes,
Not-
gubernatorial.
Not
The gubernationals were over.
The
Yeah,
gubernationals
they
were-
were over.
yeah.
They finished that drag racing session.
I have to tease Larry all the time because he did it like...
Yeah, when Kevin Rinke was on the show, I said
like-
gubernationals.
He's like, an in-house former gubernational candidate. I was like, gubernatorial. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I love Rinky.
I was like,
Well, he is a car guy.
I usually let him
Maybe
do
he
it.
was going drag racing.
Dude, I usually let you do your opening by yourself, but on that one I was like, holy shit. So I haven't let it go since then. It's a fucking great joke. Tom, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you tonight. I got some questions off air about a couple things. We'll do that. But you guys out there, like, share, and subscribe. Do all that shit. Thank you for the super chat again, John Bovey. Anything else? Oh, go to the Alex Jones. If you guys don't know, InfoWars is shut. They walked away from the studio on Thursday night. The news site is
With Spirit Airlines?
Yes. I had somebody in my Facebook. They bought one of the Spirit Air. I got it off of eBay. They had an airplane in their front yard. I think it was Dale. Maybe it was fucking Dale. Somebody, but they had a Spirit.
Bob Kitteridge.
Yeah, it was Bob Kitteridge. Yeah, it was a Spirit airline in their driveway because they bought one of the airplanes.
Cool.
Dude, it was like a 717.
So what happened? InfoWars is gone?
So no. So because they're in bankruptcy because of the lawsuits.
Right.
They can't shut them down. They can't take them over, so they stopped making all the payments for the internet, for all the stuff, for the satellites, for everything like that. So they switched over to the new company. So you go to, you still go to support us. You go to thealexjonesstore.com/thisismybrain, thealexjonesstore.com/thisismybrain. Get methylene blue, methylene red. I take the both of those, and I also take the turmeric gummies, the Shilajit gummies. There's a couple other products on there that are phenomenal. There's a ton of products on there phenomenal. But they're now at alexjoneslive.com. That's the new website. It's not owned by Alex Jones. He's just basically the news director and a co-host or the host for his show, and then directing the other stuff. Phenomenal. They hit the ground running. It's been awesome. But if I pull it up, my homepage over here on this computer, because I didn't change it till tonight, is still the Infowars.com. it just says off air. That's the only thing you get. Like your website, when I clicked on more info,
Yeah,
it's just
I
blank.
fixed that. I didn't
You
realize
got to fix that shit.
They were updating it last weekend.
Yeah. No, it's always about that shit. So, hey, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. And with that, we will catch you on Tuesday. What's up with Tuesday, Larry? More shenanigans, fart jokes, and
Tuesday night I will be at the Lincoln Day dinner.
oh,
But I
You
did leave
bitch.
I did leave a story up because
I'm not going to if you're not fucking
so
here.
I've got a
No lightning storm for Larry on Tuesday night.
No lightning storm for Larry.
But we
on
do
Tuesday
have
night.
Friday. Friday, you saw the change. You saw the group text.
No,
we
I
switched it
didn't.
from Thursday to Friday.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
So Friday.
James, sir.
Okay, so Friday night we got the guy coming on that's running for UAW.
Greg.
president. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Well, you'd have to.
So we got a show on
Jim.
Friday for John Bovee. Don't wait for the alert. There's going to be a special show on Friday, and then we'll be back on Sunday for another show. And always we'll be here Tuesday doing the regular Tuesday night rant. Thank you again, Tom, for coming in tonight. We will catch you guys next time. We're fucking out of here.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude.
that's an egg.
Seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
A little sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they gotta be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Never apologize and never explain.